What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Permabanter Podcast, episode 333, with our first ever feature guest, Isaac Kirkland. Yeah.
Yo. What is
As always, we have our very special cast of members. My name is Jeremy Ryan Fierito. Here again. And to my left, I have
Matthew Steven Seffick.
Hello,
everybody. Happy to be here. Don't you dare.
All right. Well, to get us started, as Permabanter's first official guest, Isaac, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend?
Yeah, my name is Isaac. I live in Napa, California.
Yo,
My address. Here's my social security number.
Here's my social. Here's it now. I grew up on Nintendo Classics. I had a GameCube, a Wii. I was one of the 3 people who bought a Wii U in 2012, whatever year that was. And it was a blast. I also love everything Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Avatar: Last Airbender, you know what's good. And one of my favorite memories playing video games is I got a Game Boy Advance. I had no idea what it was. I was like 3 years old, probably 4. And I had 3 games. I had Ice Age, I had Winnie the Pooh, and I had Lilo and Stitch. So, you know, I wish I had an actual Nintendo game because I probably would have played that thing more.
Sheltered.
All right. Well, as always, it is great to have you here, my friend. We are very excited to have you on.
I had Mickey Mouse Adventures. And all right, sorry. Continue.
Hey, no, you're good, Matt. Tell us about your week, bro. How's your week been?
My week has been good. I've been grinding food content. One of our videos kind of got mini viral on TikTok, not really viral, 40,000 views, which is cool. Us debating people, or me debating people about Madden being garbage and EA losing its exclusive license. So that's been a fun aspect of this week, seeing all the comments and responding to people. But overall, my week has been pretty solid. Life's good. My wife's awesome, and I'm happy.
Nice. Isaac, what about you, my friend?
It's been good. Just hanging out, chilling, playing the new Mario Kart. Playing Zelda in friggin' 4K, 60 frames per second. It's been a blast. Can't put Breath of the Wild down. It's been like a year and a half since I picked it up, so that's super fun.
Nice, man. Well, for me, I don't do much. I went to work, and then I went home, went to bed, and then I was also featured in the TikTok. Use code Permabanter, Madden 26, NFL. This is EA's year. We're going up. We're to the moon. Snow mechanics.
0% chance.
But yeah, honestly, just chilling, man. Happy to be here. Happy to do this pod, and ready to cook up this next episode. So, honestly, getting started with it. Today's plan, we are going to be doing a big agree or disagree segment. I have come up with a bunch of agree or disagree questions that the boys do not know about. And then lastly, this will be a pretty big chunk of it. We're doing our top 10 MCU projects. Well, movies, because shows don't make that list practically. But big things for this podcast. So to get us started with agree or disagree, we're going to be doing a thumbs up for agree, thumbs down for disagree. We don't have a budget for this podcast. We can't laminate stuff.
Yeah.
What do you want from us? But
It's fine. Most people are listening. It's fine.
Yeah, most people are audio listeners. But yeah, to get us started, boys, The Hobbit is better than Lord of the Rings. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Okay. I had to make sure.
Was that a bunt?
No,
That's
I had to
crazy.
see. I had to let you touch
statement.
the water, you know. Although I will say, I do think the Hobbit movies are very hated for absolutely no reason. Those movies aren't
for
bad
a lot
movies.
of good reasons.
Those movies aren't bad. I enjoy those movies, bro.
They're
movies are sick.
entertaining, but there's
Yeah.
way too much. There's way too much animation and special effects versus practical effects versus the first movie. Plus, it's not as well written. Plus, it's a story that's spread out too big for no good reason. Anyway,
You can't tell me though. End of Desolation of Smog. Spoilers. If you haven't seen Desolation of Smog, and if you haven't, it was like 2013. Bilbo on that hill. Cuts to what have we done? Cuts to black, bro. Come on, that's tough.
sounds anticlimactic to me.
That's tough. Hey, cut that movie off. I'll wait another year for that. I watched those movies with my freaking grandpa. I don't even care. Those were tough.
It would have been nice if we got the Desolation of Smog in the Desolation of Smog. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, my fault. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true, actually,
valid.
Yeah.
I think that you have a small point in the sense that those movies they're hated because they're compared to the original trilogy.
Yes.
But on their own, they're still entertaining, fun movies. But I wouldn't say that they're great. I would say maybe they're okay to good. Anyway.
Yes. Okay. All right. Moving into the next one. We kind of hit this last week, but I would love to hear Isaac's take on it as well. Live action remakes ruin the legacy of animated classics. What are your thoughts? 3, 2, 1, boom.
Agree.
Dang, he's a disagreeer.
No. So I think that the legacy can still hold. Even that's how good most of these animated movies were.
Okay.
That the legacy is intact, and the remake, all it does is just put a new idea in people's heads. But I think part of the reason the remakes are so disliked is because of how strong the legacy was.
Deal. Okay, I do think the wording of that question, you kind of found a little loophole there, you little ginger boy.
Oh, that's what I do.
But I will say that you're wrong. I do think that the legacy does uphold, but I'm so sick of all these stupid remakes of live action movies. I'd much rather see more first party properties. Matthew, you're holding it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in some regard I agree with Isaac. In some regard, I disagree. I think it taints it. Mm-hmm. I think it taints it in some regard. When you're showing your kids what movie should we watch? Should we watch the live action How to Train Your Dragon or the animated? Which one are you going to choose? The fact that there's even a choice in the first place is kind of dumb to me, and I think that taints it in some regard. Does it completely ruin the original IP? No. Like Lion King 1 will always be a classic and fantastic, but I do think it taints it in some regard. And I think that it does ruin the IP itself in some regard as well, just because people are they're going to connect that to anytime I think of Lion King, I'll think of the dumb and the live action versions of them. So.
Yeah, I agree.
I understand.
All right, moving forward. This is the crazy one. I don't know if I want to say this. Nintendo is the superior gaming company out of the big console 3. 3, 2, 1. Oh,
I have to just the loyalty, just for the loyalty aspect.
I respect
Explain
it.
Why.
It does say Nintendo expert under his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Nintendo does a few things like really great. I think they do first parties better than anyone. I think they do like accessibility better than anyone. I think more people know Nintendo and recognize Nintendo even as a brand outside of gaming than anyone. I mean, they have an amusement park for a reason. You know, you can't go to Ratchet and Clank Land, even though that would be cool.
Valid.
So I think there's a lot that Nintendo does really well. I think they're the Disney of gaming, and in a sense, they're the biggest, even just like culturally, not necessarily monetarily. Obviously, Microsoft's like huge with things outside of Xbox and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really compelling, valid argument. I think that those things are true, and I think if you were to weigh the entirety of all these companies, I mean, Nintendo has the most storied past as well. I think that they all have their downfalls and pitfalls. And I think that I would say now Sony has declared victory in the console race of wars with one another. I would even argue that Sony has done a really good job with their first-party IPs, with a lot of their iconic stuff. But it's not as much as Nintendo. And so my argument would have been for Sony, but even Sony of late is failing in different regards as well. But I think that since Sony came into the market, they've kind of been the best, especially with the PS2, and then with the PS4, and now it's like I can't imagine anybody beating them. To me, Nintendo has kind of gotten to this place where it's almost like it's a side thing. It's not one of the main players, and that's how I feel.
Yeah, and before we continue this, to all you comments saying that we're living in 2006 in the console wars, shut your mouth. They're still valid just because you have a gaming computer, you bum. But going into my thing, hey Isaac.
Yes, sir.
Did Nintendo make Kratos?
That's like a toss-up for me of like my favorite game of all time is the original not the original, the newest God of War game in 2018 versus Breath of the Wild. It's like I can't. It's like choosing my favorite child that I love.
Another question, ready for this? Did Nintendo make Nathan Drake?
No, but they made Donkey Kong, so.
I don't give a F about no dang Donkey Kong, boy, Mario Kart. No, I do like Donkey Kong a lot. But I will say that Nintendo is not the superior one. I'll go Sony all the way. I don't care. I think Microsoft has Halo, Gears of War. Those games are great. I love those games. But God of War, Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, all three of those games in my mind, solo. Bro, honestly, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't play a lot of Smash Brothers as a kid, but PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, don't know if you ever played that game. Peak game. Bring it back, Sony. Give me a remastered version. I think that would be incredibly, incredibly sick. But good points to both of you guys. Next one. Invincible is the greatest superhero show of all time so far. 3, 2, 1. Isaac!
That's so tough. That's so tough because there are so many amazing superhero TV shows. I'm talking Spectacular Spider-Man 2008, something like that. I'm talking the original Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, the original Batman the Animated Series, the first crossover like worlds with like Superman the Animated Series, Batman the Animated Series, and all the DC stuff with Justice League. I mean, it's friggin' brilliant. It's really good, and it's not just for kids. I mean, people like to say like, oh, the old cartoons are just for kids, especially like there's some of those episodes, like spoiler alert for the one like way back, but where like Batman is like helping the little girl who's like about to die, and it's like super like heart-wrenching, and it's just like such a touching moment. And so I think it's hard to judge. It's like Invincible is great, and it's very tightly written, and it's obviously very mature. But I mean, even just this last season, like the animation quality isn't always there. You can feel the budget at different moments. They save it for the right moments. They're smart with their budget, but that doesn't mean that it's great all the way through. There's consistency in those older shows because they knew they had to plan a little more. You know, it wasn't based on streaming, and the numbers weren't as, weird as it is now. So those are the reasons. It's not like it isn't the greatest. I think it's hard to judge for me. That's my problem. It's like I don't know which one I would even put at the top at this point.
Okay.
I think actually you kind of won me over, Isaac, because in my brain I was thinking like only live action for some reason, and my brain went to like there's Daredevil and that's like it, like in terms of really good. But no, I'm thinking you're probably right. I think Batman the Animated Series, it really just depends on how well Invincible lands the plane. If they can continue and even increase the quality in different areas and excuse me, sorry, Coke Zero hit me. But really land the plane and really be great. It could definitely be in the running. It could be one of those top 3. But I think Batman the Animated Series, and I haven't watched enough of the animated shows that Isaac's talking about, but I know they're fantastic. I know the Justice League series, all those things are really, really good. And it might be recency bias to give Invincible the number 1 role.
I'm going to say, for a 3-season run, thinking about, animation, yes, there's sometimes in Season 3 where the animation budget is bad. But Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3, all 3, no misses when it comes to that storytelling. I think in Season 3, there was like one filler episode that didn't really fit in with what the story actually was. But the fact that you see Steven Yeun putting his all into this character, we got, oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, thank you. I was gonna say J.J. Simmons, but for J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah. But J.K. Simmons, oh my gosh, bro, watching freaking both of them fight in Season 1, that finale, that big fight where he's like, think more, think! All that stuff, like, you can hear the emotion going into the voice acting in those situations. They've really felt and brought out those characters. Even his fight with Conquest at the end of Season 3. Bro, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Steven Yeun running it back for all you Walking Dead heads out there, bro. That was peak. That was so cool. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was getting so much hate for absolutely no reason, saying that he couldn't take on that mantle. He couldn't do it. I think he delivered it to a T. Like, they've been able just to follow the accuracy of everything so much with the comics and everything. And, I don't know. I think about a lot of these old shows, and yes, The original Batman animated series. Yes, I can even go to say the original Teen Titans series. I love that. I know people say that's for kids too, but like going down that animation run, I truly think when all is said and done with what Invincible is going to be and where it's going to be at, it will be the greatest superhero show of all time that we have so far. Of course, you never know what's going to hit us in the upcoming years with tons of stuff coming out with all these new IPs. So, but great takes to both of you as
Great
well.
argument.
Yes, I feel very strongly about that.
I respect it. I respect it. I mean, Invincible is it's like top 3, right?
It's
at
so
a minimum,
good. It's
right?
so good, bro.
That first season is incredible. It's one of the best seasons of
that first episode is perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
even though I don't really care about Amber
perfect.
and that finale. Yeah, and that finale is phenomenal too.
Both, yeah,
Yeah, bro. It's awesome. Okay.
Oh, also, never mind. Go
No, did you have? I was about to say.
No.
Okay, this next one. I actually saw this question on another podcast, but I did want to bring it up here because I thought it was good. Stranger Things is the best show on Netflix to ever come out. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's hard.
Ooh.
That's hard.
It's a strong.
Okay,
one
wait. Are we? That thumbs down. Sorry, I have my answer. I know what my favorite is.
Okay, Isaac, guess first.
Okay, so ladies first. Squid Game. I like at least the first season so far. Squid Game is good. I think it's better than the most recent season. See, that's the hard part because like they both are better in the first half and worse in the second half. So we'll see what comes about with the last season.
Yeah, Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stranger Things. I mean, obviously we hope they land the plane. I think that they will. I think Stranger Things, top to bottom, is incredible. I think the quality across the board, the writing, the first season especially, how it sets everything up. I love the second season. I think the third season is actually the weakest. I know Jeremy disagrees with that. But I love the last season a lot. For me, it's 1, 4, 2, 3, and 2 and 4. Season 2 and 4 are the two like the very neck and neck. I think that show is fantastic. I think it's funny. I think the heart. I think the music. I think so many things about it are iconic. The horror elements. It really is, in my opinion, the best. And it's better, in my opinion, than Squid Games. Like, I think Squid Game season 1 is pretty phenomenal. I think the finale is kind of weak, and the season 2, I haven't even watched season 2, but I know it's a part 1 of it. I'm going to wait until part 2 comes out to even watch it.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, that also should just be somewhat standalone as well. And I wish they just nailed the ending of the first season. But to me, Stranger Things is just a better overall quality than that.
Interesting. I'm going to change my answer a little bit. I'm going to go to a little middle because thinking about it, like, both your points are very valid, very great. I love Stranger Things. I think that from beginning to end, so far, peak. Billy's death, everything they did with Max and her coping with that and going through to being possessed by Vecna and, like, showing that even though she got treated like absolute crap and dog by Billy, that she still had that, sisterly love for him so much. And I think when you think of the character development of Mike and Lucas and Will, not gonna lie, I hope they kill Will. I hate Will. I think he's a little bowl cut Barbie doll boy that I just don't like his character. But I do think if they land this plane, like you said, it could go down as the greatest Netflix show of all time. Squid Games isn't really it for me. Personal fan favorite of Netflix, I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed On My Block. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that, ever heard of it. Basically, this show, it's these 4 kids. It's not Stranger Things. And they're basically going through life and they're home, like they're... one of the friends joins his brother's gang and stuff like that, and they're trying to, like, get him out, all that stuff. Goes over 4 seasons. Gets a little extended, but I truthfully think that's one of my favorite shows on Netflix, if not Stranger Things. But... man, you can't deny that Steve is one of the best characters in television. Steve Harrington is the GOAT. Like, Steve is going to go out, and if they better give him his flowers, because if they kill Steve in the first half of the season 5, my jaw's on the ground. Because if Will doesn't die before Steve, I will be diving through my monitor in the next podcast episode. I can't take it anymore. But
yeah,
great answers. I love.
Yeah, I'll couple retorts.
Yeah,
I think Will in the first 2 seasons is phenomenal. I think he's an incredible actor. Like his acting is incredible. Yeah. And that one clip at the end of the trailer, if you haven't seen it, where he's like, it's like insane, but it's really I think he's a phenomenal actor. I agree. In the 4th season, he's kind of weak, and but he's gone through so much that I don't blame him. Maybe that's part of his character. All that to say, though, what else was I going to say? I was going to say also, like, the original Daredevil series on Netflix was a Netflix show. The first 3 seasons of Daredevil is incredible. Like, I would happily put that in the ring. I genuinely think that's some of the 3 best seasons of any show that's better. They're so strong. The 2nd season, everything with Punisher is phenomenal. Everything with Bullseye in season 3 is incredible. Yeah. The one-shot fight sequences that they do is incredible as well. So I think that deserves some flowers, but to me, Stranger Things, in terms of impact on culture, impact on all these rising stars and actors now, and overall quality, music, design, writing, vibe, 80s nostalgia, it's number 1 to me.
Okay, 2 retorts. Sorry, we're continuing this one. Iron Fist.
Nope.
No, I'm just kidding. With Will, I agree. The season 1 and 2, okay, Will was good for his character for what it was, then coming back from the Upside Down, still getting consumed, having to go with the Mind Flayer and everything like that. The drop-off is what hits it for me. They did not continue to season that chicken. They left it bland for the last 2 seasons, and it just didn't hit the same for me. I like Jonathan more than I like Will, and Jonathan's still kind of in my eyes, So it's like...
I feel like season... Go ahead.
The fact that you guys have gone this long without mentioning either Winona Ryder's character or Hopper, dude, they are 2 of my favorite characters. I think she honestly brings the heart of that first season so well. That is I cared about Will for Mike and them. They made me care a little bit, but seeing what she goes through to find him is really what seals the deal for that first season.
My son. Where is my son?
Yeah, no, but it's great. You believe it. You believe it.
Yeah. To me, she becomes a caricature, and she's annoying in the later seasons.
I agree. That's my main issue with her. I totally understand that.
Hopper is awesome throughout. Love him. Indiana Jones style kind of personality. Super great. Everything in the 4th season with him is phenomenal. Everything with at the Russian prison is incredible. To me, again, to retort Jeremy again, the Will in the 4th season is just a really sensitive kid. He's really navigating it. I think in the show he's gay. He's navigating that as well. But the scene where he is watching 11 or L whatever do her presentation in front of the class, and he's watching it, and that whole he's so he's such a phenomenal actor in my opinion. Yeah. And I think it does enough in that season for him to showcase that he's just a really sensitive kid who has gone through so much. And I think in the 5th season and whatever, I think they're going to land the plane with his character, even if he dies. Yeah. But him run and his emotion and all those things, I think it's phenomenal.
Maybe he'll redeem himself. That's
can we divert for a second?
Yeah.
Which character do you think is going to die? Of the main cast, right? So the 2 girls, the 4 boys, who do you think would die? Or I guess you can include the teenagers too, the 3 teenagers.
I got 2 of the kids and 2 of the teenagers, but Matt, you can go first.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, I think that they'll maybe do a fake out kill on Steve at the end of the first. There's 3 parts. So at the end of the first part, I can see them doing a fake out kill on him, and that will get everybody riled up. And then hopefully they just need to make sure it's justified when he's brought back. I think Hopper's going to die.
Oh,
I think it's possible that Will dies. Max, we don't know if she's alive or not. So if she does come back, I'm assuming they won't kill her. If she does come back,
that would be so unsatisfying if they had the whole hospital scene and she just is dead.
Totally, yeah. But here's my thought process. Yeah. Maybe she's in the Upside Down mentally, and maybe she is dead, but basically she'll be sacrificing herself in the Upside Down in that world for them because she already knows she's dead in the real world. I don't think that happens, but I like that concept, and I think that's eventually what happens because Millie Bobby Brown's has that moment where she's touching her 11 is touching her, and she goes into her brain, and it's like empty. And so I think her subconsciousness is in the Upside Down. She'll have some role to play within that. But I think that it's going to be Hopper because they faked out his death so many times. He'll officially be dead. And I don't think they'll kill Steve. I think it might be Will. I think that they're probably going to kill Will. But anyway, that's fine.
Okay, so my hot take for this, I think because it would be the saddest, in my opinion, is if Dustin died. I think that would be that would suck the hardest, and so I think they might do that just because it would like punch the most.
He was one of my two.
He's the heart of that show, right? He's like the one who is the glue for their group. It would suck.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're right. Go, Jeremy.
I'm calling the show's ending right now. Vecna kills Hopper in front of 11. Causes 11 to go psycho crazy, like I don't know if you guys ever watch anime, like My Hero Academia, any of that stuff. Does anyone watch that here? Okay, causes that. Are you caught up, Isaac? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, when Deku sees Bakugo on the ground,
yeah.
causes the crazy. It's her dad dying right in front of her eyes to this evil thing. Causes her powers to nuke. She fights Vecna to the death. Closes the portal. Gets the Upside Down out of the earth. And they just go down together and a whole thing, and it's over. But I think that'd be a sick. I think that'd be a sick ending because then it's like it all goes back to where it started. Elle was never part of the story. The boys are just back together, and life kind of just goes on. But a double dose, Mike and Hopper die. Boom! Elle is enraged. She's killing everybody. No, I'm just kidding. No, but she just. I think that Hopper's for sure gonna die. I call him that ending. I think that will be the ending of the show.
That's a pretty good call.
I think it would be super dope because I know that the Duffer
brothers, yeah.
Duffer brothers, yeah. There's so many brothers. Russo brothers, Duffer brothers, Dutch brothers, all that stuff. But I really think that it is gonna be. That ending would be pristine. My 4 people were... It was going to be Dustin, because that would, like you said, kill me. Mike, because also, that would destroy me. And then Steve, I think Jonathan. If they don't kill Will, they're going to kill Jonathan. One of the brothers has to die. Especially for, like, Winona Ryder's character. If she stays alive, one of her boys is going to die. 100%. And then Hopper, for sure.
Dang, it's just, so many people dying.
Well, this is the pinnacle. This is it. This is over. Yeah. And I think with the 3 parts especially...
What's the happy ending, though? Because I got to send things off into the sunset.
I don't think there's going to be a sunset. I think the sunset is going to be that everything just goes back to where it were. And, I think it would be crazy. It would be crazy if, like, it just kind of does, like, a time skip at the end. And it's just something crazy. And someone just says, like, well, I've seen Stranger Things. And it's just...
Seinfeld music starts playing. Credits. But Jerry walks out, starts doing stand up. What's the deal?
What's the deal with the Upside Down coming up onto Earth? No, but I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be happy sunshine and rainbows. I think it's gonna be something like the calm after the storm. This is how we move on type of ending. Like
I agree with you that it's 11 and it's Vecna at the end.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think as many people die, and I do think that there is an element of a happy ending.
Okay.
Because I just think that that's how they're going to have to land the plane.
Yeah.
Just because so many people will be distraught unless they like nail a heart-wrenching element of it. But anyway, good stuff. I like everybody's thoughts.
That was really solid. That was really solid. Okay, now dipping our toe into a little bit of a galactic type of pool. Ooh, I gotta get my hands ready for this one. The prequels are the best trilogy in Star Wars. Okay, all right. 3, 2, 1. I'll go last. Isaac, please start.
I think like trilogy.
Jeremy, I think you should go first.
Okay.
You're the disagreement.
You want guns blazing? Yeah. You want guns blazing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Name a better lightsaber fight than Obi-Wan and Anakin. Go. Can't. Name better character development.
Duel of the Fates, which I would argue.
Also prequels.
I know. That's.
Do they got Qui-Gon? No. Qui-Gon, go. Obi-Wan, go. Yoda in his prime DILF era, go. We got Oh my gosh, Anakin freaking Skywalker becoming Darth Vader over the sequence of 3 movies, Forbidden Love, Forbidden Marriage. Bro, come on. You got C-3PO with all his parts inside, his innards are all there. No, but just standalone. Those 3 movies are so good all the way through. I know a lot of people like to diss on Attack of the Clones, but the fight on Geonosis, where Anakin loses his hand, where they're fighting Dooku for the first time, everything with him and Padme going through the droid factory and everything like that, that whole set of 3 movies is peak. Now, I'm going to list the trilogy, like, the order I have them in, just so everyone's clear. It's going to go prequels, it's going to go prequels, originals, sequels. If anyone's here's favorites the sequels, get ready for a world of hurt, because I will
all right,
crash
bye
out
guys.
on you.
I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah,
No
right.
way,
Yeah, right.
no way.
I'm just kidding, I'm just joking.
Okay, I do think that anyone arguing for the originals is valid. I do think the originals do have a lot of standpoints where that is Star Wars. That's how Star Wars started. That's how it blossomed. I will just say I much prefer watching Anakin slowly become from this little slave boy on Tatooine from Mr. Watto all the way up to where he becomes the evil that he never wanted to be, rather than watch Luke fight his dad. Because I think you need 1 through 3, that solid story to even get the ending of 6. And I'll back my case right there. Also, you don't have Mace Windu. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Whoever wants to go.
I see your Mace Windu, and I raise you Lando. No, I'm just kidding.
I raise you Lando
other black guy in the
The
galaxy.
other token character.
Yeah.
Hold up, what about Finn?
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. I think the way I think about it is that the prequels are like the quintessential Star Wars movies in my heart.
Okay.
Right? Because like I grew up with those movies, right? So I know what you're saying with like the cool action scenes. The space fights are like way like more impressive visually.
Modern.
Yeah. There's so many aspects of those movies that are like Star Wars to me. And when I think of Star Wars, that's what I think of. That's the image that comes to my mind. But I can't, like, the quality just isn't, like, the directing. It just isn't there for me. That's where it just falls apart,
Writing.
where I'm like, yeah, the pace of the writing. I think there are good lines in there. Like, one of the best lines in the whole trilogy, this is how democracy dies with thunderous applause, is like, oh my gosh, right? Mic drop. It's, like, insane, right? One of the best lines in all of Star Wars, but if not the best. But I think that Anakin's story only works when you have Darth Vader in your head, right? Like watching it, and you're like, this is where it's going. And then just like the heart of Empire is just so much more solid. The directing is so much more well done. The writing is tighter. I mean, you guys have probably seen that like amazing video essay on the original New Hope Star Wars movie and how it was saved in the edit and how George Lucas shot it the same as the prequels, and it would have been boring and have all these moments that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
And they like cut it down, trimmed it, and made it like way more exciting and fun. And that's why those movies are successful. So I think I have to just stick with the OG. I mean, I hear it on the Return of the Jedi. You know, I think everything with Luke is like amazing and perfect. The Ewok stuff is just silly. So it's kind of hard, but that's where it just gets more into the prequel stuff. So I don't know. But yeah, that's where I
Ewoks
stand.
and I raise you sand people.
Okay. The other token characters?
All right, Mr. Matthew.
Yeah, no, I mean Isaac's hitting on a lot of the points. The editing in episode in A New Hope is incredible. Like, it really is phenomenal what they were able to accomplish, and it's an exhilarating experience if you've never seen that movie. Especially, and we're so familiar with it, but the first time you watch the movie is incredible. Like, the Death Star run is incredible. I would say, I mean, it's simple for me. The 2 best movies in all of Star Wars are Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, and those are 2 out of the 3 movies out of the original trilogy. So to me, it's I understand your argument. I think that there's cooler visuals and even cooler concepts in the prequels. There is, but there isn't better execution, and there isn't better writing, and there isn't better directing. And I will say this. This is a minor note. The theme for Anakin in Phantom Menace is incredible. Like the composition throughout the entire series, John Williams is incredible. re-listen to the Anakin theme. It's so good. It has Boy Wonder in it, like this kind of like hopeful whimsicalness, and then it leans into Darth Vader's theme throughout it. It's incredible. John Williams is incredible. But anyway, all this to say, I think that the action is better in the prequels. I think that the visuals and the set pieces are better in the originals. But because of the execution and because of the failure in writing and even acting to a degree, even though I blame more the writing for that and the directing, you can't beat Empire Strikes Back. It is such a strong movie. It's one of the best movies ever made, and you can't beat A New Hope, which I think is not one of the best movies ever made, but it is one of the best edited movies ever. And so it's just there's too much there. There's too much magic there. Even if Return of the Jedi is somewhat weak, I would still take Return of the Jedi over Phantom Menace and Clone Wars, just because the rest of those movies are so boring. The pod racing scene and the Duel of the Fates are the two best moments in the first movie. The rest of that movie is not good at all. Clone Wars, the opening sequence where they're like doing the speeders in the open city where he's jumping and he's like flying through the air, and then I guess the gladiator sequence is somewhat cool, but honestly the opening sequence, and then Revenge of the Sith is in my opinion probably the third best movie in all of Star Wars, behind those other two, Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope. So anyway, that's my argument, and I rest my case.
Rebuttal. Okay. All right, hear me out. You got Han and Leia, right? Love story. Boo-hoo. Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Anakin and Padme? Anakin and Padme.
I don't like sand.
I don't even... he doesn't like sand. Bro, I'm telling you, okay, the writing, directing, yes. Could that have all gone better? Of course. And I do think that is what, shoot, bro. I'll shoot myself in the foot with that one. But the story of all three of those movies, going from, okay, Qui-Gon is supposed to, train Anakin in the very end. He dies to Spiky Boy. Kills him. Cut in half. Obi-Wan's now left with this barren of not disappointing his master, but also having to take care of this youngling when he's still a Padawan of his own in that sense. He's still looking after Anakin in his own heart. Going into the next movie, I think you're buck wild crazy saying that you said the chase scene and the gladiator scene were the best scenes of that movie?
In Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
Crazy. I think that when you go to Kamino and he finds out who all the clones are, who Jango and Boba are, the Jango and Boba escaping off of Kamino fight, like, that's crazy in itself too. I think that... Oh, sorry, not to interrupt you.
You're continue. I'm interrupting you.
When it comes to all three of these movies, clean slate to what it's supposed to build up to, I think that I fall way more in love with the story of those three movies than I do of the originals. I do. Because I love the originals. I love watching Luke grow and develop to, I'm not going to kill my father, but I'm going to whoop this Emperor boy's ass. And then he's going to die. But it's like watching Anakin try to chase these goals and become who he is, try to impress Obi-Wan, become a Jedi Master, stuff like that. The Jedi were wrong, and all that stuff where the Jedi were evil and blah, blah, blah. But it's like watching Anakin's character development go all the way up to realizing that, like, he's becoming the very thing he hates, but he also doesn't want to let all these people down in the process, which leads into Kenobi. And I know you don't like Kenobi, so I'm not even going to bring that up. But it's just watching. I think Anakin and Obi-Wan, you can't name a better duo in Star Wars. You can't. I don't care about Luke and Han. I don't care about Han and Chewie. I don't care about Kylo Ren and Kylo Balls. Like,
I would argue Han and Chewie is better just because of what's showcased. Now, if the Clone Wars was included, like the TV series and all those things, obviously it's the best. I think that you're entitled to your opinion, even if it's wrong.
Really?
And
I think you are a more forgiving and nice man to see past all the flaws of those movies than
I see past the flaws to see the magic.
I think it's because you grew up with them.
I'm Walt Disney. It is because I grew up with them too, but also just like even rewatching them, like seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters for that anniversary, bro, my nuts were on the ground. It was beautiful. Like I genuinely don't think that there's a better way to introduce people to Star Wars. Because if you show these kids today New Hope, half of them are going to fall asleep. But people are going to see Ben Kenobi and think he's the Quaker grandma on the box.
I disagree. I think that those movies are really good, and they still stand the test of time in terms of how they were made and how they're created. If you start with episode 4 and then you go down to episode 2 and 1 and 2 and then 3, and then you jump back to Empire. Anyway, all that to say,
and then
I
you
think
completely forget about 7, 8, 9.
Yes, 100%. That's not up for debate. But I think that the prequels just have too many weaknesses and issues with execution.
Okay,
that's my case.
This one, and hey, good takes, boys. Good takes. We're a wholesome podcast here. I'm gonna dox both of them, and then I'm gonna let you find them. No, but this one is going to be pretty nice. Next topic. If Superman fails, the DC movie universe is over. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. It's not going to fail.
You don't think so? You have zero
I have zero doubt that it's going to fail. It might not make it as much money as they want it to, but I think it's going to be well received by both fans and critics.
Okay. Isaac?
I think it depends on what you mean by fail. So if you say it fails like monetarily, and it's more of a sense of like, and it's a sense of like WB is like losing faith, then yeah, I mean, James Gunn, we gave you a shot and you sucked. It's like, okay, executives don't know what they're talking about. But it's still a good movie somehow, and it doesn't make money, which to me I think it will anyway. Even if it's mediocre. But okay, so you're talking like if it fails as a story, right? It's like not an entertaining story.
If the movie sucks, if the movie is just boring and not good.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the flaws would be in a failure scenario, I think it would just shoot the series in the foot, and it's like you're starting off like hard. I think Captain America, First Avenger. It's not the best movie in the world, and I think that's about as bad as that movie could have been to get people really hyped about it. I mean, Iron Man alone was like great, and that got people hyped, but this is like years and years after amazing superhero movies, so it's like the bar is so high with we're gonna do our top 10s later. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
But I think it would definitely have a rough go. It would be the same situation we just had. They would push for it to try to happen anyway. James Gunn's gonna push call in all his favors that he's gotten over the years and try to make his universe a thing. And I don't know if that will save the DCU, because that's basically what just happened.
Yeah. All right, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that he'll get more of a shot than I think Snyder did. Or at least as much of a shot that Snyder did. If it fails, if it's not good and it's not well received, and everybody doesn't like it, which again I don't think that will happen. I think that I agree with Isaac. James Gunn will call in the shots, and they'll just move forward and keep doing what they're doing. What's interesting is they don't have like a set plan. It's not like it's like an MCU phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Like it's kind of it feels like everything's kind of up in the air. Like they're doing a Swamp Thing movie. They're doing like
Clayface?
They have Clayface. Yeah, they're doing like the animated series or the animated show that ties into it. Yeah. They showed Batman for 2 seconds. Like they're kind of there isn't this clear phase, so I don't know what would end. It feels like they're in a way setting stuff up, but also in a way they could hit the eject button and be okay either way. Just because. I don't know if Clayface needs to be connected to Superman. You know what I mean? Like the Batman sequel, the Batman 2 movie that Matt Reeves is working on that keeps getting pushed back. That doesn't need anything from James Gunn. So since he's in the driver's seat, I wouldn't be worried even if Superman ends up sucking. And also I'd still trust James Gunn, because it's like you're allowed one dud out of 10. Yeah. You know what I
mean? Going into my thoughts on it, I'll start off with Suicide Squad was great. I think James Gunn redeemed that. I think that movie is solid. I really do enjoy that movie a lot. I love Peacemaker. I think that is also really good. But as for DC movies in the past, Flash, no. Anything that's come out, like the last, I'd say 5-6 years of movies besides the Suicide Squad, this new one, I haven't been there. I've left the theater and I've been like, damn, again? Like, for real? But I think with this movie, David Cornsweet is beautiful. I love you. I think what they're going to do with Lex Luthor, and I think what they're going to, like, just... I'm hoping on all my marbles that when we review that movie on this podcast, I will be jumping for joy, butt naked, with a Superman tattoo all over my body. I'm literally just wanting that movie to succeed so
Me
bad.
too. I want to see that too.
I can't say that I am going to... If this movie is bad, I'm going to be honest. If this movie is bad, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be like, well, it's James Gunn. Because as you'll see in my MCU review, I love James Gunn. And we'll get into all that later in the next segment. But this movie has so many stakes on it, and I don't think people are realizing that to the extent of like, okay, yes, if he gets a dud, it'll be good. But with DC's history of duds in general, like I know from Snyder and stuff, and you think of the directors, but it still has DC's label on it. And DC has just kind of been in the dry spout. Batman was great. Suicide Squad was great. Peacemaker was great. Let's see the continued push back up the mountain, because, you know, Marvel's fallen too. And we'll get into that as well, probably another episode, but I want to see the superhero movie hype come back. I feel like everyone used to get so excited for all the Avengers movies. Everyone used to get so excited for everything coming out. And now that Marvel's dropping stuff, you see the nerds get excited, but I'm not seeing regular Debbie Joe on the street go, damn, I want to see Superman.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it gets more love.
So I think there's like literally a 5% chance that movie's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's either going to be good. I think it's going to be good or great. I really do. Like, at worst, it's a 75 out of 100. So I'm not worried about it.
I don't even think it'll dip that low. And if it does dip that low, I'd probably still be.
Go ahead, Isaac.
My only fear with Superman specifically, like that character, because James Gunn's pattern has been pretty similar with all the different movies, is taking a character that on paper you shouldn't like, but you do. He makes them like so lovable. And Superman's not the opposite of that, because you still want to like him, but on paper he's already supposed to be likable. So this is a new challenge for James Gunn. I think it's something that is, at least as far as superhero movies go, I mean, to me it's like he's like the foil of someone like Peacemaker or whatever, who's like, everyone, he thinks he's cool, but like everyone else knows he's an idiot, and you love him, you know, despite that, because James Gunn's great at writing those types of characters. Similar with like Drax, or even Star-Lord to a degree. He has his moments of like, wow, this guy sucks, but you still love him. Superman doesn't have those same types of like socially awkward flaws that all those other characters have in Suicide Squad and in Guardians of the Galaxy. And so there is a fear of me that either he's going to make Superman like weird and awkward in some sense. Like he has that little like joke, which is like a little Spider-Man-y to me, where he's saying, I forget what he even says. It's like, yeah. Eyes appear. Yeah, eyes appear. Whatever. Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like that doesn't scream Superman to me. I think of like the deep commanding voice. It's like, you know, I'm here for you, and you can rest assured, like I'm going to protect you. Whatever that means.
I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that Cord's everything I've seen off him, he's so charismatic, so likable. He's also similar to Henry Cavill, which is funny in terms of his personality. But no, I think that those are small moments. To me, that what sold me is when he's arguing with Lois. It's like this is good. Like this is going to be good, because I think that they're going to nail those moments. They're going to nail those characters. They're going to nail how they are in general. The heart when he's like touching his dad. Like those heartfelt moments are so good. I just have faith in Gunn. I like your point of view though, Isaac. I think it's like, okay, well, he's taken all these characters that aren't likable. I think if you give Gunn a really likable character, I bet he'll be able to make him exponentially even better.
I agree 100%.
And there'll be other awkward characters that, you know, like all the characters at the Daily Wire, or the Daily, what's it called? Not Daily Wire. At Daily Planet are going to be those kind of fill-ins as well. There's a lot of comedic actors in that environment. I think that will be the kind of goofy element of humor that the movie might need. But all that to say, I'm not worried, and I think James Gunn's going to nail this.
I mean, I will say I was a little like, whoa, when Guy Gardner, we found out he was going to be in the movie, and I'm just like, what is this tone? Like to me, that just doesn't quite like, that's not what I want from a solo Superman movie. But maybe, you know, I trust James Gunn. Like he's probably going to make it good. I'm just putting my fears out there.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Valid. All right.
You ready for the MCU, boys?
I'm ready.
All right. Next segment, we are going into our top 10 MCU movies. We'll be discussing them. We'll be debating them. And I'm assuming someone will crash out. It'll probably be me because I like to be different. So, going into our first and our number 10 slot, Isaac, what do you have on your MCU list?
So we're going bottom to top, worst to best.
Worst to best. Save number one for last.
Man, see, okay, I'm so much more confident in the top 3 or 4 of my list. So my top 10 worst worst of this list. Number 10 slot is Doctor Strange.
Wow, that's high.
It is. I agree. So the reason why I love Doctor Strange is because he has the good, you're a selfish jerk that Iron Man has, but for whatever reason, the way he plays it, the way he shifts from beginning the movie to the end of the movie, I really feel that sympathy for Stephen Strange as a character. I really feel like he understands himself better. Now, I have seen that movie more recently than almost any of these other movies that are on my list, because most of them are from the golden age, whatever, of Marvel.
The Infinity Saga.
I just happened to exactly. I just happened to rewatch it recently, so that might be why it's so high. But yes, that is the main reason. And then I like the theming, I like the story, I like the magic stuff. I think it's all fun. But it's not as good as some of these others for a few reasons. The villain is a lot of these villains are and there aren't a lot of other characters in that movie that I really connect with.
I think that's crazy high still. Just for top 10 for Doctor Strange, I support your claims because I think he is a really great character. I think when you rewatch that movie, you get to see the Agamotto, I have a bargain. Agamotto, I have a bargain. He is Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. I can't think of any other actor as Doctor Strange. I think he holds that role so well. So I agree with you in that aspect. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting that to be your 10 if I'm being honest. So good work. Matt, what do you got?
Okay, yeah. My number 10 is Thor Ragnarok.
At 10?
At 10. Yep.
Oh, please talk.
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. To me, that movie's awesome. It's fun. It's funny. It's really energetic. The whole gladiator thought process there. I know him from work. Those moments are really, really great. I think that the movie's weaknesses in terms of just what it is. I don't like how all of his sidekicks are immediately killed off. I don't like the Matt Damon cameo. I think it's fun, but it's also what? Why is this happening? It's just and it's very Taika Waititi. It's very why is this in there? I think that there could be moments in it that are really heartfelt and more drama to them, and Taika can't help but make things humorous. And I know that was one of the criticisms when it came out, but I do have an issue with that. I think that everything doesn't always need to be so funny. Thor's entire home just got destroyed at the end, and they're making jokes about it. At least have some weight to it.
Yeah.
I would say as well, there's just an element of just throughout the movie that I don't know, Thor's character is just different. They set him up to be pretty different, and it makes him in Endgame even more different. Without Thor Ragnarok, he's not the character he is in Endgame, in my opinion. And I hate who he is in Endgame. I don't like his character. I don't like who he becomes. I don't like how his energy is. He's playing video games and all these types of things. All these things are lame to me in terms of what they did to his character. And I think that, to me, Ragnarok, they're starting that process. They start that process with him becoming that way. It's a fun movie. It's a fun villain in Hela. The whole final fight sequence is fun. And it's in my top 10. It's not I hate the movie. These are just my gripes with it. Yeah. And it's just my movie theater experience isn't as strong as these other movies as well.
Interesting.
I gotta crack the egg, burst the bubble, whatever it's called. That movie isn't on my top 10.
You're wild.
I am sorry, but Matt just summed it up so well of so many of the reasons, and those are the exact things I was thinking when he first said that. I was like, wow, these are all the reasons, and then he said them. So I just want to say I concur. And the highs aren't high enough for me. Yes, it's funny, but Thor doesn't need to be the funny character. To me, I would have more appreciated that kind of humor from Spider-Man or some of these characters. I mean, obviously the Deadpool movies are hilarious. But to me, Thor could have used. I would have loved to go back to the Thor one of the Shakespearean drama, whatever, feel with a more competent direction, more competent writing.
I can hear. Do you have something in your hands, Jeremy?
Oh, I do. Yeah, my fault.
Okay, no, you're good. I can hear it. Isaac, I agree. I'll say this: Hulk is hilarious in it. I think he's awesome. And again, I'm sad that the way that they set him up for the next movie. I don't like where Hulk is now either, and what he's become. He's awesome in Avengers. He's terrible in that, or he's great in Ragnarok. So Hulk is like a total bright spot. Like that movie is hilarious because of him. There's so many moments with him. But I agree that the Thor, the funny character, all those elements, they're weak.
Okay, first, before I go into Ragnarok, Matt, did you have anything you wanted to say about the Doctor Strange? I didn't mean to cut you off. I meant
no, you're good. Okay. You're good. I don't have a direct response. I don't hate that placement though.
Okay. Going into Ragnarok, I do agree with you to an extent about the movie and the comedy in the sense I do think a lot of the comedy comes from him coping with the loss of his mom. When he lost his mom in the second movie, I think a lot of things changed for Thor. I think he became to realize how attached he was with his mom, and it just really became like he lost himself. He lost himself through the entirety of Ragnarok, losing his dad, and then even going into, Infinity War, losing his brother. It leads to those 3 movies of loss going to, he becomes a fat tub of ice cream, and it's just like, it destroys him. But with Ragnarok, I will say, I enjoy the pacing of the movie. I enjoy watching the friend from work scene as well, too. But what saves that movie for me is, like you said, the Hulk. I don't think we get to see an angry Hulk after that. I don't think we really get to truly see the rage fight of what, the Hulk is, because he dies down so much after, during Infinity War. It just gets so boring. But 10 is a good placement. I respect your opinion for sure on that. And my 10, going into it, do you guys have anything else to say about Ragnarok?
No, you're good.
Going into my 10, I actually have Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That movie is beautiful.
That it's that low on your list to me is crazy.
Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite trilogy in the entirety, if not the best trilogy.
And 3's the low. Wow. Okay.
Yes. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is beautiful. That movie is so solid. It is so good when it comes to the villains of, oh my god, why can't I remember his name? I can't remember his name. The purple dude.
We gotcha.
Okay, but sorry, don't cook me online. But with him and the story of Rocket finally figuring out he becomes a raccoon, Star-Lord, just seeing all these characters go to the brink of practically death and just be gone. I think that movie gets a lot of gripes for absolutely no reason.
I think people love it, actually.
No, I've truthfully seen people just diss on it for no reason. And I think that it's just so interesting to me because that that story is told so well. I think that's exactly how the Guardians need to go out. They needed to realize, what their unit was. Rocket, they had to realize that losing Rocket means basically you're practically losing the whole team. He was the one destined to be the next leader. And building up after that story, hopefully where they go with that, Adam Warlock, stuff like that. Just that movie is so gut-wrenching. I cry every time I watch that movie. It beats the hell out of me. So it's sitting in my top 10 for sure. That is holding the number 10 spot.
Guardians 3 is not on my list.
Wow. It's way high. It's probably a lot higher than you all would expect on mine.
Yeah. My main reason, I think it is good for all those reasons. I don't like the fact that the team is separated. Yeah. I don't like everything with what's the love interest name for Star-Lord and Gamora?
Gamora, yes.
Yeah. I don't like that ending for Gamora and Star-Lord. I don't like how that plays out. I don't know. I want more of a happier ending, I guess, in some way. Mm-hmm. I think that movie's solid. It's really strong. In my opinion, it is the second best Guardians movie. I think it's better than 2. But I think that for me, it's just not in my top 10. There's other movies that I relate to more. I have more connection to. While I don't think I think the soundtrack to all 3 of the movies is phenomenal. But to me, 3 is just not in my top 10.
Yeah, the High Evolutionary, by the way. Chat, don't cook me. The High Evolutionary. He says a hard name. Also, Cosmo in that movie, where he's like, am I a good dog? That's all. Or sorry, she. Cosmo was a girl.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah. That is sweet.
Okay, Isaac.
All right, we're going to number 9?
Number 9, sir.
Number 9 for me is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Ooh, wow.
So spoiler, this is the only Spider-Man like solo movie on my list.
Wow.
Also,
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
more that's surprising to me.
I know. It's
How
hard
dare
because
you!
my experience in the theater with the last one, what's it, the home No Way Home?
No
or
Way
whatever?
Home.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I mean, Matt and I saw that, and that was like so much fun. It was like a blast. The crowd was like so into it. We were coming off the highs of like Endgame. It was great. I saw that movie in 4D where it's like effects and like your chair's moving and stuff.
A guy dressed as Spider-Man runs up. A guy dressed as Spider-Man runs up and punches you in the face as hard as he can.
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, I got a black eye. It was great. And I think I saw it another time with some other friends, and because I saw it enough times, I realized how much of that was fan service, and so that's why it's not my number 1. The other, is there 4 or 3? I can't remember.
There's 3.
Yeah. Okay. So the second one to me is good, but like I love that. It just, to me, it's like so close to like the Spectacular Spider-Man TV show where he's just like fighting more of a villain of the week. It's just like quintessential Spider-Man. He's young. He's in high school. You feel that. He's
in New York.
He's in New York. Yeah, 100%. It's like you feel it. And I think they did good with Magneto, but I like Vulture. I like the surprise
You
connection.
mean Mysterio?
Mysterio?
What did I call him?
You said Magneto.
Magneto.
I like Cyclops.
I like Wolverine.
You
I
start
like
crying
Mysterio,
and
but
walk away.
you know, it's like I think what's his name? Gyllenhaal like did great with that character.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the connection with Vulture. I like the loose enough connection with the Avengers MCU stuff with Vulture, but the surprise connection to the girlfriend, I'm like, that's a Spider-Man moment where you're like, it's hitting Peter Parker and it's hitting Spider-Man at different angles in the same way. It's his life is crashing together. To me, that's what makes that the best of the solo Spider-Man movies in the MCU.
Hell yeah.
Is Homecoming on your list, Jeremy?
No.
Not mine either. But I don't hate your point. I see what you're saying. To me, yeah.
I think Homecoming gets a lot of flack for a lot of bad reasons. I do love that movie. It's not on my top 10, but I think that movie is great because he's in New York. It is the one Spider-Man movie where it's like solely set like he's Spider-Man, you know?
New York is a character.
New York is a character. Please cast me as New York.
You just like that. I'm just running on you. Anyway, I'm walking in.
I do respect your points, Isaac. I do like that a lot. I think Isaac's list is going to be really, really interesting. I'm really stoked for the rest of it. Matt, what's your number 9, my guy?
My number 9 is Guardians 1.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that high. I don't resonate with the Guardians movies as much as I think others do. Mm-hmm. I had an incredible experience with Guardians 2 in theaters. Like, I remember laughing out loud when the Pac-Man moment happens because it caught me off so off guard. I was like, that's hilarious. Yeah. But Guardians 1, to me, in terms of just, like, it might not be in my top, Guardians might not have been in my top 10 if it wasn't so well made. Guardians 1, as an introduction to all these characters, they're so likable, they're so great. Chris Pratt kills it. The ending is heartfelt when they're inside of Groot. All those things, all those aspects are really great to me. Mm-hmm. But it's just not higher for me because it doesn't resonate with me. It's not as relatable to me. I think it's just a really well-made, funny, entertaining movie. Yeah. And I have like much more to say. To me, it's like because Guardians 2 and 3 are not on the rest of my list. Spoiler alert. And it's just the best made one, in my opinion, out of those.
I will say, I'm surprised it's so low. I also have that on my top 10.
Jeremy, you're gonna crash out. I think it's literally just because I haven't seen it since it came out. But Guardians 1 is not on my list. And I need to rewatch it. Because I literally I remember it, but I don't remember it as like beautifully as everyone describes it.
I'll get into it later.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'll say this real quick. The ending battle sequence is lame to me. It's the normal Marvel trope of being this whole big sequence and this whole big fight thing that happens. Yeah. To me, the first 25% of that movie is phenomenal. The middle of it is good, and then the ending is lame to me. But minus that whole sequence where they're falling out of the sky. That's it. The dance off is lame to me, in my opinion. Dance off is lame to me.
I'm gonna save all my rebuttal for later in the list.
Great.
All my rebuttal. Isaac, anything else you want to add on that?
No, I feel good about that one.
Okay. I might catch some flack for this one. My number 9 is Spider-Man No Way Home.
I can see that. I understand that. That movie does a lot of things. I want to hear your thoughts, though.
I love that movie so much. When Andrew Garfield hops out that portal, I hop out my seat. When I see Tobey Maguire hop out that portal,
I punch the old lady in front of me.
I literally kick that old lady in the face. That movie is so good. That movie is so good, but the story is all over the damn place. Mm-hmm. I really think they wanted to give the next set of Spider-Man movies a fresh start. That they wanted to add all 3 trilogies in one and just basically say finito. I think watching Tom Holland fight Doc Ock on that bridge was sick. I think seeing how his character development to where he loses his Aunt May, sick. Spoiler alert. Sorry if you haven't seen that movie. But I do think that when it comes to the storytelling of what it is, like as a solo movie for it, it doesn't really stand its ground. I do like the movie. I like the villains. I love the inclusivity of like watching freaking Green Goblin go crazy and do his Willem Dafoe normal things, and him fighting, Spider-Man inside of the apartment, which was also sick. It's just not that high up for me. Like, it is the only new Spider-Man. It's the only Spider-Man MCU movie on my list, 100%. I do for the Spider-Man fan inside of me. I love what it stands for. I love the joy it brought me. I love everything that it does. It's just not my favorite. It's not my favorite. I think that I felt more emotionally attached when Andrew, like when Gwen died. When Gwen died in TASM 2. Like, TASM 2 will always be one of my favorite ones. The Tobey Maguire OGs will always be my favorite ones. Like, those movies just hold so much more in my heart, I think, personally. True. To where if I rewatch these 3, I'll maybe love it a little bit more. But this movie is still a great, great movie. The fan service in it, the adding of Doctor Strange in it, everything with all of it. This movie is not bad in any regard. It's just not my favorite. So, yeah. Please don't
I'll save my rebuttal.
Yeah, deal. Okay, Isaac, you got anything?
Yeah, so I think the reason for me why it's not higher, I already said a little bit, is like there are like I imagine like watching that movie at home without an audience and like the pauses for like people to cheer. It's just like awkward, and like you get the like I'm a science man myself, like you get the meme moments. I think it's really sucks that the Sandman scenes are all reused footage from the original. I think what's his name? Electro, is that his name?
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Is like Jamie Foxx's character. It's just like he doesn't really add much. The Lizard is an interesting plot point where it's kind of like a Hulk moment. He like gets out and stuff, and it's kind of cool. I think Goblin is great. I think that's like one of the best. But it feels overwhelming. Like you said, the story's all over the place. I don't connect very well with like MJ and Peter in that movie as much as it should because of the weight of the ending of that movie. So those are the reasons why it's not in my top 10. But that's the thing. It's like its highs are so high. I agree with you on that. But to me, the lows bring it down just a little too far.
Yeah,
great points.
I like that. I'm excited to see your rebuttal, Matthew. Okay, number 8, Mr. Isaac.
Okay, you guys are gonna hate this. Then it's low. Well, maybe not. We'll see. It's actually Endgame, which is I'm sorry, Jeremy.
At 8.
Endgame has like so much weight on it. It had so much pressure, and I think it just barely passed the pressure that it needed. I don't think it failed, but I think it needed to be as good as Infinity War, and it's so obvious how much better Infinity War is to me. Spoiler alert, it's a lot higher up on my list. And so I think, if the quality was reversed, I would have zero complaints, honestly, because Endgame is great. It has good things about it. It's higher up than, so much more of the MCU for me. Yeah. But just the time travel stuff gets confusing. It's like the last, final act of that movie is just like, that's the end of Infinity War to me. Like, it's just like, cut out the whole time travel stuff. Like, I don't like, yes, it's good. It's fun. You get the, like, that's America's ass. Like, you get all these fun moments. But like Hulk being like,
language.
Oh. Yeah. You're like Hulk being like, oh, like, I'm so cringy when I'm mean Hulk. It's just like, ugh, like, I hate that. There's just, there's so many aspects that is just like hard. Yeah. About it. I think the 5-year time jump is good. Like, there's so many, it's a mixed bag for me for what it is. It has so much pressure. It needs to be better. That's what's hard for me. It's like it had to be better for me to put it higher up.
Yeah. Okay. I'll save my rebuttal. I gotta save mine. What, Matt,
okay.
You got anything?
Okay.
I'll say this. I'll save my rebuttal slightly too, but I really wish that what they ended up doing was there's an alternate reality where the other half that survived was still alive. The people that got turned into dust.
And the blip, yeah.
And they somehow came in communication with one another. And instead of it being time travels figured out, Tony Stark and Peter Parker from alternate universes had to connect with one another, make a connection. And then there's two Thanoses at the same time in different realities. It's similar to what it happens, but in this reality, two Thanoses at the same time trying to stop from them doing some sort of technology where they bring them all back together. Because then I think you allow everybody to shine. But I understand what they did. I agree with what you're saying and a lot of what your points are, Isaac. Anyway, that's my only thought is I wish that they did something along those lines over time travel, which feels cheap.
Okay. Again,
there's an episode of Justice League Unlimited where all the adults and children get split up, and it's great because Shazam can switch back and forth because he's a kid. So when he switches his form, he goes to the adult world and then he goes to the child world and he helps them figure their stuff out. It's really fun.
Very cool. Really creative.
Yeah.
That's dope. All right, Matt, what do you got number 8?
Yeah, my number 8 is actually Doctor Strange 1. I know. I think that movie is phenomenal. If you haven't watched it, rewatch it. I remember me and Isaac saw it in theaters together, and so Isaac just rewatched it recently. The moral themes of Strange 1 are incredible. Dealing with him overcoming his surgery, the idea of overcoming, the idea of selfishness and being selfless is so good in Doctor Strange 1. His whole, everything he has, what's the name of the character who's bald, Tilda Swinton?
The Ancient One.
Yeah.
The Ancient One. Everything between him and the Ancient One, every conversation is like philosophically brilliant. It deals with morality. It deals with being selfish. It's relatable. It's effective. Benedict's performance is phenomenal. While the villain isn't the best, it's still a cool spectacle of like everything in the street going backwards in time, and then him eventually going in psychological. I like the fact that the ending isn't this big action-packed thing, but it's actually him dying over and over and over again because he's learned the value of selflessness. And that's what allows him to be the Ancient One. I think that's brilliant. I think that it's smart. I think that the acting is amazing. And to me, the first 70% of that movie is incredible. And then the last 10% is really solid. But dude, it is such a good, also the visual sequence when he first goes through, he starts expanding his consciousness. Yeah. Where it is a visual spectacle. It is awesome. It is better than most visual spectacles I've seen in any other movie, especially even the MCU, especially recently. But that movie deserves a lot more love and praise for how strong of an origin story it is and the themes that it deals with, even though Mads Mikkelsen's character is kind of lame.
Wow. I've never met two such strong Doctor Strange fans in my entire life.
That movie's good.
Second one isn't as good.
The first one.
I think the movie's great.
You gotta talk to Matt's brother, dude. I think he loves it even more than us.
Really? That's crazy.
Okay, so my only rebuttal is the only problem I have with that movie, and it's there aren't quite enough. There's a few, but there aren't quite enough creative uses of magic. They set up these weird. It almost feels like Avatar, bending rules of you can only do the spark weapons the mirror dimension, the portals, and like that's kind of it. And then you get like the cape, and then like that. There aren't enough like amazing, like mind blowing, like whoa, magic can do that. Like, and yes,
What
you
about
need
the
the
Inception
tension.
moments of the buildings going upside
Totally,
down?
yeah,
and
yeah.
all
The
that
mirror
stuff?
dimension. That's like the other big one, right?
Yeah.
In that movie.
It's enough for
So
me.
yeah. To me, I think it just feel like magic feels a little too limited, like based on what I think of when I think of like superheroes and stuff like that. Like to me, magic is the weird aspect, and to me, Doctor Strange, the original, doesn't feel as weird like as it should. But I agree with you that it's great. Obviously, it's on my top 10.
Yeah, great. Shoot, I love that movie a lot. I think that what they do with Agamotto, like I said, I think I made all my points earlier, but it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Very, very great movie.
All right, Jeremy, you?
My number 8 is Thor Ragnarok.
All right.
It is. I love that movie. I love the movie. I do enjoy the comedy aspects of it. I do see it from the perspective of everything, like I said earlier, with Thor losing his mom, then losing his dad. I think the introduction to Hela is badass. I think with Surtur, too, ending up just destroying the world at the end of what it's supposed to be, like what Ragnarok is huge. I do agree with you in the sense of, yes, Thor lost his world, so he should be reacting a little differently, and he should be, instead of being a little comedian guy and joking about it. But I do agree with the themes of loss, being he's lost so much already, what else does he have left to lose? He has nothing. He feels nothing. He is numb. So he's so emotionally numb to it that he can't be serious in it, so he'll do whatever he can to try to liven up the party because that's all he feels like he has left.
Sure.
And I think Chris Hemsworth does a spectacular job with that.
He's
I
great.
think Loki is awesome. I love Tom Hiddleston. But I do agree. I do miss the sidekicks a lot. I do think that the sidekicks should have got some more love because they definitely were super cool.
Yeah, I mean, my small rebuttal to you is that I don't think that the choice that they made, that he just goes numb and then decides to be just the comic relief character, similar to what Isaac said earlier, is the right path. Like, choose something more dramatic. Like, choose something more serious. Like, the transformation he goes through should be not he's just trying to deflect everything, but he has to face it head on. Yeah. And the attempts that they make at making him face it head on, even in Endgame, to me, aren't strong enough to justify how much they butcher him as a character. That's all I'll say.
I think one final rebuttal with that, and I'll get into this more when I get into Infinity War down the line, because you know that's down the list. He went from losing his mom to his dad to his brother to the half of the entire world because he missed the head. So that's everything. So, but yeah, we can get into more of that later. Isaac, what is your number 7? Also, my lighting is slowly diminishing. I have 23 minutes of sunlight.
You're good.
I might turn my light on right now, actually, just so we could switch it up. But Isaac, please hit me with your number 7.
Yeah, so my number 7. This is my selfish pick. I will acknowledge that. It's not purely based on quality of the movie. My selfish pick for number 7 is Captain America: First Avenger. I love that movie. I think that I just love Steve Rogers as a character. He's so good.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is like perfect for that role, which is so funny because like I see him in interviews and he's such a different person than like Steve Rogers, but he sells it. He makes me believe that like that is the perfect human. I love so many aspects of that movie. The big gripe I think most people have with it is, yes, the montage of the war stuff is like lame and like feels like I wish it's like, it's just like whatever. But the whole like first half, I don't know. I've seen, it's been so long like how much of the movie, but like him jumping on the grenade is like the best scene. Like being like strong, despite like all the themes of that movie just work so perfectly. Even like Red Skull as a character is so like the over to the top, like comic book fun, like villain. It's great. I love the end. The tag where he's in the modern day and he immediately knows. He's like, that's the baseball game I was at in whatever year. And like, it's just like how smart he is.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so perfect. And it's like amazing. I just love like so many aspects of that movie, and I think it's a satisfying ending with him like sacrificially giving up his life, what he believes is giving up his life, and everything. It sets it up really well for who he is as a person. His arc, he does have an arc, and I think it's great. I love Bucky in that movie. You feel their chemistry as friends. You feel his chemistry with everyone. I even love Stark in that movie, the older Stark. He's fun. He's a good character.
Younger Stark?
No, well, the dad.
Howard Stark.
Howard. Yes,
Howard.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Younger, older Howard Stark.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yes,
The character's younger, but he's the older than Tony. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I think it's just fun. And yes, it's not perfect. There has pacing problems. There's like other stuff but it's my selfish one. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely.
No major rebuttal. I agree. I think the first like 45% of that movie is phenomenal. I don't love the second half. I don't hate the montage. I think.
Yeah, it's not a bad montage. It's just like, I wish this wasn't a montage. Like, I wish there was just a great example scene or a couple example scenes of like who he is as a battler, as a World War II fighter. That would have been more impactful than just like, oh, he's fighting people now.
Totally. I don't hate the pick. I think it's great. I even talking about it, it makes me think like, man, the origin stories for the main titular characters are so good. Besides maybe Thor, and like those characters age the best because they had such a strong character and theme from the get-go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Iron Man and Captain have the two best arcs in the entire MCU, and it's because their origin stories are so strong. So good stuff.
I think that the first Avenger is beautiful. That movie gets a lot of gripe for no reason, just because like there's certain plots like you brought up that are like kind of but like I know even people are mad about like the Bondsman thing where he becomes the singing Bonds Captain America guy, but that's basically the MCU Superman. His values, his heart, his honor, his valor for the world, what he is. People look at that and they're like, that's our Superman. So I think Chris Evans was the perfect casting for that. And like you said, going down with the ship to save the world, that's beautiful. Beautiful peak. So good job, Isaac. I really like that.
It's a good pick.
Mr. Matt.
Yeah. My pick is No Way Home, number 7.
Nice.
I mainly think it's number 7 because of just how fun it is, how hype it is, the nostalgia for me growing up seeing Spider-Man 1 and 2 and 3 in theaters, like how excited I was about those movies. I'm not as big of a TASM fan, but I love Andrew Garfield. And so that kind of overshadows even any kind of like gripe I have with TASM. But to me, I would say my only one gripe with it is there's a lot of gripes, but my main one is they don't use the Danny Elfman theme from the original Spider-Man Tobey Maguire theme.
Oh, yeah.
I really wish that in that last sequence when they all team up and it's the three of them, that the theme starts and it's and it like leads into them like being heroes at the end. I wish that they used that theme. They don't use it. It frustrates me. Danny Elfman had so many good themes. He composed Avengers, I'm pretty sure. So like, or one of the he's composed Marvel movies since then. Use that Spider-Man theme. It's one of the best themes. Anyway, that's one of my main gripes. But no, to me, dude, Willem Dafoe in that movie is incredible. Him being like getting punched in the face and like it's so good. And the reason this is higher for me as well is, besides all those gripes that you said, I agree with them. Mm-hmm. The theater experience was so exhilarating and so good and so exciting and so fun that it overshadows the issues that it has. The fan service, all those things. And I think that it sets up Peter Parker perfectly. I think that his sacrifice is massive. I'll say the other minor gripe I have is just the fact that Strange is just so incompetent in that movie.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, you can't keep throwing stuff in. It's like, you're changing the world. Like why are you... Anyway, but I get it. You need it for the movie. But but it is, to me, in my opinion, it's number 7 on the list for me just because of how much fun it is.
Yeah. No major rebuttals there. I agree with you. I think the theater experience is top tier. And I do think that it is a great movie overall, 100%. Isaac?
Yeah, I think I already gave pretty much all my thoughts on that one.
All right, this is where I start to get a little steep. Number 7, I have Civil War.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. I think Civil War is a great movie. I think Civil War is, if not one of my favorite movies, clearly it's in my top 10. Civil War is an Avengers movie. Civil War is not a Captain America movie. I get it with the story with Bucky and Sam, like them basically trying to save Bucky from the Sokovia Accords that are happening when, all that stuff is going on. I think the airport battle is sick. I think the introduction of Spider-Man is sick. I think it's all good. I don't think it's a Captain America movie. I think Steve Rogers being in the movie and doing the thing where he's leading his team. I think of Civil War and I think of, have you guys ever played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2?
A little bit. Okay. I don't know the story, though.
Ultimate Alliance, it's basically Civil War. It's basically your Team Cap, Team Iron Man. The one thing I will give is that it is so impressive to see Tony Stark start out as the beginning of the MCU, 2008, to becoming the big bad. Like he becomes the person that you hate the most because you want to see Cap and Bucky succeed. You see Bucky's brainwashed, you see all this, but Tony's just like, no, like Tony thinks he's right, Cap thinks he's right. Tony thinks he's right because they killed what was that? It was Sokovia. They killed Sokovia when it dropped down and it destroyed. It was gone. So his grief and his feeling bad for the country and the stuff that he feels like he could have saved, with the suit armor around the world and all that. And then going to Cap, where Cap just doesn't feel like it's right because he doesn't think Bucky should go away for what the mind control did for him. And then leading into watching how Bucky killed Tony's parents. It's just a whole minefield of tons of stuff. This movie's great. This movie's solid. I don't really have any problems with it. It's just not as good as the other movies on my list. So genuinely, I think the story's really good. I just think it should have been an Avengers movie as well. But
I saved my rebuttal.
Deal.
Yeah, it's higher on my list, so I'm also
me too.
gonna withhold for now.
I respect that. I figured it would be higher on both your guys' lists. So yeah. All right, Isaac. What is your number 6, my friend?
Number 6. This one. Okay, this is where my list. I don't feel as strong about it, but it's okay. Number 6. I actually just put Avengers 1. I think that movie is like as impressive as, this is weird to say, as Infinity War, for like how well it got everyone. I mean, even the general, like I watched that movie only having seen First Avenger. I didn't even see Iron Man. I don't know how or why, whatever happened.
Sheltered.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Sheltered.
But yeah, it's like I jumped in and I was game. I was like, I'm a DC fanboy. Like I love Batman, Superman.
I heard gay. I jumped in and I was gay. It's like, what? Avengers is, by the way, Avengers 1 is my number 6 too. So this could be
okay. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Matt and I, we're the same person. No,
it's not in your top 10.
Avengers 1 is not in my top 10.
That's crazy.
We need to talk more about that. That's nuts.
Okay,
that is nuts.
And I'm an Avengers 1 glazer. I glazed that movie.
Apparently not.
No, I just think the other 6 I have are more peak. But go ahead. You guys go.
I mean,
keep going, Isaac. Yeah.
There's just so much. I mean, Loki's a great villain. It's like
it's the best Loki in my opinion.
Yeah, it's awesome. The fear of the Hulk, like in that movie, is like so good. It's like one of the only movies where it's like, oh gosh, like this is terrifying. I love the feeling you get when the Avengers are fighting each other. I know a lot of people complain about that because it's like, oh, like Marvel's only good when the heroes are fighting each other, not when they're fighting the villains. But like, that feels great. Like when they're meeting and they're butting heads and like the back and forth between like Iron Man and Cap, it like setting up the future of like where the MCU is going to go. It's like so good. Like put the suit on. We'll go a couple rounds. Like I love it. Like it's so fun.
So good.
It's so fun. There's so many good lines. And I have to like, Joss Whedon doesn't like Captain America, I think, because he's not as good as he should be in that movie, but he still shines in his moments. And they all get like adequate level of shine. So I think just because of how impressive it is for not having the rest of the MCU to like back it, like Infinity War, like some of these later entries, it accomplishes something amazing.
Yeah. How much it sets up the rest of the MCU too is incredible. It sets up Civil War, it sets up Endgame, it sets up Robert Downey, it sets up Tony Stark's speech at the beginning of Endgame, which is one of the best parts of the movie, when he's like, I was talking about a suit of armor around the world, like that kind of energy. That all of that is because of Avengers. Mm-hmm. I agree, they nailed it. It's also action sequence. It's some of the best action sequences in the entire. Can
we pause for 1 second? I accidentally left the top lock unlocked, and my girlfriend is locked out of the apartment.
You're good. You're
okay. Pause real quick. I'll edit it out.
I'll pause.
Someone sing. Someone sing. Sing or do something.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime girl.
We'll probably edit this out.
I know. That's why I'm saying it just for Jeremy in the edit. Hi, Jeremy in the edit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Can you hear this? He's got his wireless headphones on.
It'd be hilarious if he can. Hello, my baby.
I can hear all of it. I can hear all of it. This will be a bonus clip at the end. All right, 3, 2, 1. Time in.
Okay, so Avengers. It is such a well executed movie. It should be in the top. It needs to be in the top 10. Like I disagree with you hardcore, Jeremy. I think it is the way what it sets up, how it's executed, how they execute Hulk, which is in my opinion the best in the entire series. If it's not Age of Ultron, which I think does a pretty solid job with Hulk.
Yeah.
It sets up Hawkeye and it sets up Black Widow in a way that they're actually real characters and part of the Avengers, and there's depth to them. And yeah, that whole last action sequence is incredible. Like, I think that the way they executed it, the spectacle it was the first time anything like this had ever happened in the movie world.
Yeah.
It nailed everything it needed to be, and it is one of the strongest movies of the MCU, in my opinion.
Okay, this movie, I do not disagree with a single thing you guys said. I love this movie. This movie is great. Avengers 1, peak, the shawarma scene at the end, the scene where they're basically, saying, "Does mother knoweth you weareth her drapes?" Like, that is, like, huge peak instances, and I love this movie so much. Like I said, same thing I said about Civil War. There's just other movies above it that I think I like better, that I think I rank better. And
your issue with Civil War was it's a Avengers movie, and your issue with Avengers is it's just not as good as the other movies. Got it.
Deal, yes. And Avengers just isn't in my top 10, baby. You don't like it, you don't like it, you don't like it. Drop a comment about it. Come on.
He's wrong.
All right, so what's your number six?
What's your six?
My number 6 is Thunderbolts.
Actually?
My number 6 is Thunderbolts, and I will go into it. Thunderbolts gives you 6 people you don't care about, roughly, and gives you the experience of them becoming the anti-heroes to becoming the heroes, to just fully bringing it into the sequence of Thunderbolts had me in tears, man. I think the Red Guardian is, quite frankly, one of the best characters ever. He's hilarious. His connection with Yelena. Okay, sorry, spoiler alert, Matt. I know you haven't seen it.
Yeah, you're good. I haven't seen it. So
I'm really sorry.
I'm not going to have a strong rebuttal here.
I know.
Dude, you're fighting below the belt to Matt right now. Like, this is dirty.
I'll take off my headphones.
Yeah, take off your headphones. Take off your headphones. Yeah, just don't listen. Can you hear me, Matt? Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me? No? Okay, you can't hear me. Okay, like I'm saying, this movie is so good. The connection where Yelena's at the end. Yelena's lost. She lost her sister. She doesn't know what she's doing. She has all this trauma from the Red Room, clearly, with all the dark rooms and everything going on, that Bob and the Sentry are giving her. I love Bob. I think his character's super dope. I think him realizing, that he feels alone, he feels lost. You got these 6 characters who have gone through so much crap in their lives to where they just don't know what's going on anymore. I do think they did Taskmaster hella dirty. I think that was pretty awful.
That was rough.
But I love John Walker. I think this movie, I did not like John Walker in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But
yeah, by the end of that series, you hate him. And I don't know if you're
Yes.
supposed to. Maybe you're supposed to.
Exactly. But in this movie, I love him. I love him. I love Bucky. I love everything they've done. I love the twist at the end with the asterisks. Didn't even see that coming 100%. Did not see that coming whatsoever. The one problem I do have with this movie is the marketing, is how they removed it and they leaked it as the new Avengers 3 days in.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's not in my top 10. I think it just, yes, Yelena and Bob, you feel it, right? Like, by the end of that movie, you're like, I'm sold on these characters. But to me, that, it's like, almost like that's a solo movie for a team-up movie. This is a team-up movie. So it's like, I think this movie, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't land enough for me with, like, all these other side characters. I think it's a little overblown. But I agree with pretty much everything you said. I almost wish, I don't know why, I almost wish the, like, Dark Zone, or the Shadow moment, that those characters actually died. Because that was when I was like, oh,
I agree.
Like, whoa. Matt's like looking at our faces.
I do also think that each Shadow Box, they all should have gotten one. It shouldn't have just been
totally. Yeah. So I think there's, it's just not, all these other movies are just better to me, like you've been saying,
Absolutely. Agree.
All right.
Cool. Matt is back. All right. Cutting into, we are now in the top 5. Ooh. All right, Isaac. Hit us with
all right. I don't think this is going to be controversial. I feel a lot better than the top half of my list.
Hold up. Sorry, 1 second. One rebuttal. Even though I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, having it over Avengers is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Watch Thunderbolts.
Honestly,
I will. Yeah. Sorry, continue.
Okay. Number 5, Iron Man 1. The original, the OG. It got us there. I just watched a VFX breakdown, Corridor Crew, on the original, like, practical stuff. They made a full practical suit of the shiny one, the war machine looking one, the like Mach 2 or 3 or whatever. And it looks so good. That's not even in the movie. That's reference for the CGI. That's how good the CGI is. You can't even tell that it's not practical. It holds up today. It's amazing. The story is great. Just seeing like the humor, it sets the tone, right, for the whole MCU in a way that is like, okay, these movies are funny, they're action packed, and they're clever, and they're satisfying. They gut punch you at the right moments, in a way that is like anyone can enjoy these movies. So that's why it's as high as it is. I think it deserves that spot. Personally, I don't have as much of a connection to Iron Man as a character, but I can see past my personal kind of bias against that to put it higher.
Deal.
No major rebuttal. Great pick, in my opinion.
Is Iron Man 1 on your top 5?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
The spoilers.
Well, it's not in mine.
Okay, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start with my rebuttal then, since I'm not going to talk
It's
about
not
it
even in your
afterwards.
top 10.
Two terrible picks, Jeremy.
Iron Man 1 is not in my top 10.
That's crazy.
I did
crazy
recently just rewatch it, and I do think that movie is freaking phenomenal. And I think that for what it stands for as a solid solo baseline to what Tony Stark is. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. I think that is hilarious. Obadiah Stane, freaking Slim Happy Hogan. Like, it is so good. Peak. Just like these movies more.
Yeah, I can't believe it's not your top
No,
10.
my top 5 is probably going to baffle all of you.
Yeah, Iron Man 1 is phenomenal, but I'll save what I have to say about it when I go.
Deal. All right. Matt, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Endgame.
My number 5 is also in-game.
I respect.
perfect.
I totally
Yeah.
respect that. By the way.
Yeah, I think that the last sequence alone, along with Tony's death, is the incredibly impactful, and it lands the plane enough for the entire phases that we've experienced. That it's great. I agree that the middle half, the time travel stuff, all those things aren't as strong. But I love like Tony Stark's interactions with his dad. Like I think those are really great moments. I appreciate and can laugh at Captain fighting himself. And I could do this all day and him being like, I know, like just the fun things there. Ant-Man's, like you said, those are great moments where he's joking about, his butt and all those things. But all that to say, I think that the Endgame is just a spectacle that is incredible. It's really good. It deserves to be in the top 10. For me, it's definitely in the top 5 just because of what it accomplishes.
Yeah. For me, I will agree that you did steal my take, Matthew, with Tony and his dad. I think the time travel's hilarious. I love when Nebula goes back to, what's it called? When she goes back to the planet where they get the Power Stone with Rhodey. I do think it's supposed to be like a time heist sort of movie in the sense of, that's just what it is. I'm not mad at it. I think Tony got a great interaction with his dad because Tony was so afraid of becoming a dad with his kid because, he didn't have his for the majority of his adult life. And I think when you get Steve coming back and just being able to see Peggy's office and just that scene in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters was really beautiful to me. I'm trying to think of where everyone else went. Rhodey, they went to Nebula's.
Yeah, I mean, the Black Widow death, wasn't crazy impactful for me. It was just kind of like, okay, but it's good. Yeah. It's well done. It's well executed.
Hawkeye as Ronin is badass, and I will not take any bad claims on that.
It's cool.
I will say that it needed to be Natasha that died because Hawkeye had already lost his family, and it would only help his character get even deeper by losing his best friend. So that being said also is just horrible. And then when Hulk goes, where's Nat? Drops to his knees at the time portal thing. But I do think you guys disregard one scene in the time heist. When Thor gets to see his mom again. And she talks about how fat he got. No, I'm just kidding. But when she basically just gets to get that moment, that reconnection. Because I think that's what Thor needed to come back in that final fight. He went from all that loss to everything, to missing the head, to doing all that. But getting an Endgame, what does he do? Slice that dude's head off when he said, I got the head. And then that's where he becomes this little comedian, funny guy, because he's lost everything in his life. He's playing Fortnite, eating ice cream, sees his mom. Okay, he's the God of Thunder again. He's back. He knows what he needed to come back for that character arc. So, an Endgame, like you said, spectacle. Oh my gosh. I Love You 3000. I Am Iron Man. Literally, the show starts off, Iron Man 1 ends with I Am Iron Man. Infinity Saga ends with I Am Iron Man. I will say the one gripe I do have about that movie is Captain Marvel. I don't like Captain Marvel as a character.
We all don't.
Carol Danvers is boring. When she flew through that ship, everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Bro, are you kidding me, dude? Like, just let them fight, bro. Captain Marvel doesn't need to be the almighty everything. Like, that's not how it needs to be." But I will say, Endgame, it's the finale that it needed. Infinity War, a million times better, but the Avengers, the Infinity Saga needed to end like that. And for all those people who were mad about Steve's last dance, because I've had a lot of talks with people about that, and they've actually been kind of pissed with how Steve's story ended.
What?
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he needed
None of us feel that.
I think
good.
Okay,
Good.
so
Good.
that is why that movie is so good, right? Because they get each other's endings, right? Like Captain America gets to go and live the good life that, you know, Iron Man's been living for the past 5 years with his daughter and his wife and everything. And, you know, Iron Man gets to be the self-sacrificial hero that Cap got to be, you know, in the 40s. So it's like they get to experience each other's arcs in a way that's like perfectly aligns. It's like the stars aligning. Like it's great. It's so amazing. I think I agree with you guys in the fact that is one of the best Marvel movies. To me, it's like, because it's the end of the saga, it's sad to me that it's not. It brings it down. It's just a bummer to me that it's not better. Like that there's so much random exposition with like the Ancient One and Hulk, and it's just like, ugh, like it drags in moments. The pacing is not great, especially when you compare it to my other higher picks.
Yeah, I don't crazy disagree.
Pepper Potts as Rescue.
Is that her superhero name? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Play Marvel
Weird.
Snap. Oh, okay. All right, go ahead. Isaac, your number 4.
Number 4. Y'all are going to be shocked, but I just really connected with this movie, Guardians 3. I think it just has such heart. It's a great ending to the trilogy. It was the shining light in our dark tunnel of whatever phase that was, the 2 phases that have sucked. It's so good. Rocket is an amazing character. I always wanted a little more focus on him, and we got way more focus on him, and that was awesome. Just the voice acting, everything like sells it. Just the cute animals being like hurt is just like, ugh, like who is not gonna cry? Like in that movie.
Sheltered.
But seriously, it's great. No, it's good. So like all those, like James Gunn knows how to make characters lovable, and every character is so lovable. Nebula is great. Like she's finally like has a sense of humor and is like having fun with the other characters. She cares about them.
The dance scene at the end, bro.
Yeah. Like it's a great ending to the Guardians. I think it's great. I'm, like I said, I need to rewatch Guardians 1 because obviously it's the only Guardians movie on my list at this point. Spoiler alert: none of the other ones are higher.
Oh my god. Drax dancing.
Wild.
Yeah.
Drax says there's people who dance and people who don't, and then he dances because he just got adopted 900 children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't crazy hate it. I'm just surprised that it's like it's crazy to me that Guardians is higher than Avengers, than Iron Man, than
It's
Endgame.
not crazy to me, Isaac. You live your life.
That's wild to me. To me, it's just in my brain. It's just recency bias too.
Yeah, honestly, it might be. I literally when I
ugly.
texted Jeremy about this, I was like, I need to rewatch every single movie of the MCU to give a better list.
Yeah. I've liked your list so far. This is the first one I somewhat disagree with, but
Sure.
I don't hate it. I think that movie, everybody thinks that movie's good.
Yeah. All right. Mr.
Sure.
Matthew.
Oh yeah, I'm up. My number 4 is Iron Man 1. I think that what it sets up, what it does. Sorry, Coke Zero, man. What Iron Man 1 does is essential for this to be a series. If Iron Man 1 isn't good, if it isn't what it is, then we don't get everything that precedes it.
Yeah.
And it is the best origin story from top to bottom in the entire MCU. That of all those movies, it is the strongest identity. It is the best casting in the MCU. And it is just an incredibly strong movie. Throughout, it's funny. It's it's the best paced movie in the entire MCU, in my opinion. Better than Infinity War. And it is just it's just like, that movie alone is just like really good. You don't need anything. You could watch that alone and it would be like, that was fantastic. This is a great movie. And I feel like every other movie kind of needs an attachment to some other movie. So because of that, I think Iron Man 1 is the strongest. It is the best, the most well-made. And I just love like origin stories where people are like getting less selfish. They're overcoming their issues and their flaws. They're seeing what they did wrong, and they're growing from it. So, yeah.
That's great.
I have no rebuttal. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Who's ready? My number 4 is Ant-Man 1. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. My number 4 is Captain America Winter Soldier.
Whoa.
Yes. That movie is peak. That movie is sick. The action scenes where Bucky and him are fighting. Just the whole storyline where Hydra, like, just you figure out so much in that movie, what's going on with everyone. And I just think it's super sick to see, like, Bucky come back and literally just be the Winter Soldier is just so badass in my eyes. And just the storyline and the pacing of that. Like, I know you say the pacing of Iron Man 1 is solid. The pacing of the Winter Soldier was great. I was attached to my seat the entire time. I was ready to go, ready to roll. And that is, in all honesty, my favorite Captain America movie. It is the Captain America movie for me because that's where, like, as you can tell from my love for the prequels, the brotherly stories always hit me. The love between Steve seeing his brother Bucky become consumed by Hydra and become their main agent is just insane to me. And I don't know. I just have a lot of love for that movie in my heart. I think the Nick Fury thing was a little but I do really, really enjoy that movie a lot for what it is. Very, very good. And also the introduction of Falcon and the On Your Left was also super sick as well. So,
sure. Yeah.
Super cool. Sam Wilson.
I'll save my rebuttal.
Deal.
I'm so curious what. Yeah. Okay. I'm saving. We got it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what's your 3, Isaac?
Okay. My three is Civil War. I love Civil. It's recency bias, whatever. I just rewatched it New Year's Eve last year.
It's mine as well. I'm okay.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I mean, to me, Civil War is so well paced, actually. Like, you wouldn't think it was based on the premise and like when you break down the plot and like what happens in that movie, but it is so well done. I disagree that it is not a Captain America movie. The themes of that movie are all central to Captain America, especially when you take into consider Winter Soldier, which you just talked about, but I'll have more to say on that later. Civil War picks up Steve's story very well. It's the same exact theme of, can I trust these people, right? Can I move forward with my life and, I'm going to hold to what I need to hold to. I mean, the funeral scene alone makes it like a Steve Rogers movie to me. I think that is where like the grounding of that movie comes into play. It's obviously the most explicit like message portion of the movie. And I think Zemo is a Captain America villain as much as he's an Avengers villain. There's so many great moments. The airport scene's awesome. I agree. I've seen some like video essays on like the color grading is like whatever and like not as bright and colorful, whatever. The story is so good. I just have to see out past like some of the minor flaws. Because the introduction of Spider-Man in the MCU, so great. He feels perfect. That's exactly what I wanted when I went to the theater. Our theater experience was amazing, Matt. We saw it with a bunch of friends. It was like so fun. It was a blast. It's great. The marketing, everyone I knew, Team Iron Man, Team Cap, like it was so exciting.
Yeah, it's a political thriller, and it's a brilliant one. The same way, in a similar way that Winter Soldier is a political thriller. And everything with T'Challa is incredible. Everything with Black Panther is awesome. The introduction of his character is amazing in that movie. The action sequence in the airport, it's the best action that we've gotten for a Spider-Man character since the original first 2 Spider-Man movies, in my opinion. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire ones. Action-wise, it's the best Spider-Man action you've gotten, in my opinion, since then. Mm-hmm. It is the introduction of Peter Parker and him meeting Tony Stark is incredible, and it's awesome, and it's funny, and it's like believable, and it's like great. That was a huge deal. MCU getting access to Spider-Man was massive. So that introduction being so good, Tom Holland being the perfect fit was so good. Like, it had so many things going for it, and they nail it, dude. The revelation that Winter Soldier killed Tony Stark's parents is so good and dark and really serious, and it's like it's the only time in these movies that they actually are like, no, this is real, and this happened, and this is dark, and this is messed up. Yeah. And the action sequence between him and Iron Man and them at the end is awesome and visually awesome. The moment where he's like shooting the beam and like it's like slow motion, like that movie from beginning to end is really, really strong. When Zemo is giving the codes to Winter Soldier, it's so good. It's such a great build of tension. There's so many good things in that movie to me that it definitely deserves to be in the top 3.
It was
it's incredible.
Such a good introduction to Black Panther. I forgot to even mention that. It's like he's such a perfect fit for that movie, tone wise, like everything. He really elevates the movie, which is like I wouldn't have expected that. You know, it's like we're adding another important character to this like overwhelmed plot. It seems overwhelmed, but then when you actually watch it, it's like it holds your attention through every moment. One thing I didn't appreciate is like how methodically it sets up Baron Zemo's plan to like execute all these different things and what he's doing in the background while the Sokovia Accord like drama is happening in the foreground. So it's really great.
I'm with you.
That actually leads right into my number 3.
Let's do it.
Black Panther 1.
Wow.
I was curious if anybody was going to have this.
That movie is phenomenal. T'Challa's character, Killmonger's character, the entire pacing of that movie where it's just so good with Claw being the villain, the casino fight, the car scene, the soundtrack. This is where they kind of went to using different actual like artists, and they went to more of like a hip hop sort of vibe.
Oh, rappers. There's a black character now.
They went from going with like the composers with like just like the theatrical dramatic music to actually trying to bridge the gap and go with like some rap music, which is really good. And that soundtrack is phenomenal. I love that movie's soundtrack. I think it fits in with each scene that the songs are in perfectly. I think the ending train fight scene is also really good, where when Killmonger dies and they're like, he could save him, they could save him, and he's like, man, these sunsets are beautiful. And he's like, they are like, his dad always talked about how the sunsets in Wakanda were the most beautiful thing in the entire world. And then he refuses to like be a pawn to anyone else and just lets himself die. I think Killmonger is beautiful. I think the scene with T'Challa and his dad in the garden is also really good, where just the character development of T'Challa in general. I miss Chadwick Boseman so much.
Me too.
I think Chadwick Boseman would have thrived in Black Panther 2, Black Panther 3.
Oh, yeah.
And
he's important.
It's so sad to see. Like, that's true loss. That sucks. And that movie as a standalone film, I'll admit it to you, do you guys remember Movie Pass when Movie Pass was a thing?
Yes.
Like, you see a free movie every day. I saw Black Panther 23 days in a row.
What?
Because
That's amazing.
My high school was right next to the theater, so every day after school I'd go see Black Panther. And
that's awesome.
Back in 2018, that was my ish. Like I had Movie Pass, I was flexing it, I was seeing Black Panther every single day. Like
Dang.
it was, that movie is not only just like nostalgic to me in my childhood, in the sense, not childhood, this was like 7 years ago, but it is also just a well written, well directed film, and I truly think it's a masterpiece. I love it.
Yeah, no major disagreement. I mean, I don't think it wouldn't have been that high on my list. Like, probably on my list, it'd be in the top 15. It would probably be like 11 or 12 just because it is such a well-paced, well-made movie. I don't have major gripes. I do think the train sequence actually isn't a good action sequence, but I do think Killmonger's send-off is pretty solid. Like, it's pretty, like, poignant. Yeah. I think that I agree with you, though. I miss Chadwick Boseman, too, and I think that he's so important. He was such a presence in those movies, and since he was in Civil War, his presence is, like, felt. He's just a guy who carries a lot of that, and the character was really grounded. It sucks that he passed away. All that to say, I don't hate it. I don't have a major rebuttal. I just think that, these other movies are better than them. But
yeah, agreed.
Isaac?
Yeah, similar to what I was saying, like, my only major disagreement with what you said was I think that the train sequence doesn't work for me, and honestly it sucks because it's just the CGI quality like really takes me out of it. It feels like a movie like 10 years older than it, or young. Oh yeah, however you say that. Yeah. Like worse.
He's learning younger and older today.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in second grade. It's the 100th time's gonna work. No, but yeah, it takes me out of it. And honestly, I know it's like cliche or whatever, but like at that point in the MCU, I was really, really sick of the hero fights his mirror version of himself.
Yeah.
It was just like, I was over it before Ant-Man 1 with Wasp. It was like, okay, we get it. Like, they're going to fight the mirror version of themselves. Even to a degree that's repeated in Winter Soldier, which is even higher up on my list. No surprise there. Like with Bucky and Cap and stuff, it's like, so I was really excited to see Andy Serkis as the villain of that movie, and he has kind of an anticlimactic, ending in that series. I'm like, wow, this could at least be like a cool threat throughout the MCU in other movies, kind of like how he shows up in Ultron, but that doesn't happen, and so that was disappointing. Yeah. I think the villain Killmonger is great. I think he's awesome. I love the acting in that character, but it just, I don't know. It, like, I don't fully understand his motives. Like, I understand him, but I don't, like, he jumps to conclusions with it. It's like, we're going to take over the world because we've been taken over. Like, it's just like, okay, technology, like, it doesn't, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I agree. Those are gripes I have too. All right, number 2.
Ooh, number 2.
I'm first.
My number 2 is Infinity War. I think that movie is amazing. I think it's exactly what we needed for that moment in the MCU. I think it hits every single thing that is needed. I know it has, a couple issues here and there, but honestly, like, similar, with my friends, we watched it New Year's Eve, so it's fresh in my mind, but it is extremely well paced. The brilliance of making Thanos the main character of that movie, of that story, the protagonist. It's like, it's about his story coming to fruition. He's not the hero, but he's the protagonist, and it's really brilliant to see him come up against each and every member of the Avengers and just take them down one at a time. It's great just seeing the Infinity Gauntlet actually being used. The loss, we get our first major loss in the series. It's just so impactful. There's just so much about that movie that is amazing. I could go on and on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Infinity War is also my number 2.
Yeah.
It is purely a beautiful story. I don't think it should have ended any differently than the way it did. The Avengers needed to lose. The Avengers had won the Battle of New York. They won the Battle of Sokovia at what cost? But they also needed a real major loss to realize that the world doesn't just fall to the Avengers whenever there does. Whenever that it needs to. There's bigger bads out there. There's bigger threats out there. Threats that we haven't even been exposed to, that have only been exposed to in comic book pages. But Infinity War really told the story of Thanos had a mission, and he was going to break whoever's heart he needed to get there. My love for the Guardians of the Galaxy in that movie is essential as well. When they pick up Thor on the ship, and Thor becomes a little mini Guardian. Like, that's beautiful to me as well. But I really feel for when he tosses Gamora off that rock and sacrifices her. That's like, bro, he does not care what he has to do. He's going to do what he needs to complete his mission so he can finally rest, which is what he does at the end of the movie. And it truly shows us that in the MCU, that's our big bad. That's what really needed to happen. So, and I think we really haven't seen a big bad. And truthfully, this is a little off topic. I don't even think Doom can reach that level of big bad in Doomsday. But I will rest my case there. I think Infinity War is beautifully made. Beautifully made.
Great. All right, my number 2 is actually Winter Soldier.
Whoa.
Yeah. So my number 2 is Winter Soldier. I think that movie is incredible. I think it is it is probably one of the most well-paced, action-packed, really well done, really good in terms of the universe building and all those things. Movies in the MCU. It's just so good. It's such a good political thriller. The twists and the turns, the action sequences specifically are just incredible. Everything with Winter Soldier, but even Nick Fury in the car. Like, I remember being in theaters. Oh no, actually, I'll start with this. When Captain America first goes into the ship and is just kicking people and they go flying into a pole, like, dude, just like, you feel his strength for the first time, and it's like about time that we got some action that was like this powerful and sick. Throughout the entire movie, you get that. You get the pace. The elevator sequence is like one of the best. Like, if it's a short or a reel on YouTube when I'm scrolling, I'm watching the whole thing. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good, dude. The magnets, like everything, like him looking over and seeing the sweat, like it's such a good like movie. It's so good. It's so phenomenal. I'll say this now just because you guys are... Infinity War is actually my number one. So I'll go more in depth in that in a moment. But to me, Winter Soldier Infinity War beats it just on pure spectacle and the ending of that movie, the impact in the theater that everybody at the end of that movie is like, oh, I remember being in theaters and I was like this. Like for 3 minutes, just blown away by the absolute perfect perfection of like, there was no spoiler that happened. It was just a perfectly ended, like the way that they end that movie is so good. And so that's why it's my number one over Winter Soldier. But Winter Soldier is phenomenal. And I'm pretty sure that's Isaac's number one. So I'll let you take it away, Isaac.
Well, I want to hear Jeremy's number two before we go to our number ones. Yeah.
No, he did. My number two was Infinity War.
Yeah.
Oh, we already went all through. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, you got it right. My number one is Winter Soldier. I just think I can't think of a flaw with that movie. Like, it's so great all the way through. I guess the only like possible thing is like it doesn't have a solid like heavy hitting villain. But I think Bucky fills the role of the antagonist. I think not Zemo, what's his name?
Robert Redford.
The computer.
The old guy.
No, the computer.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I think he fills a role with that.
Mole Man or something like that.
What is it?
Doctor? No, it's Doctor. He's like they call him the Mole Man or something like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Him coming back from first Avengers, great. But like honestly, just Bucky, like as a character, really is the antagonist of that story. Where it's the themes are so. I just listened to a great video essay, Overly Sarcastic Productions, on YouTube, where it's just like breaking down the amazing themes. Like every single character is struggling with this. Even Nick Fury, has this theme of trust and like who can he trust, and he's like telling Steve like you can't trust anyone, not even me, basically, to the point. There's this question of can he trust Natasha, and Natasha's the perfect character to come alongside of him in that story because she's so untrustworthy as a character. I mean, even at the beginning, she's doing things that are outside of his purview that aren't concerning him, but he has an issue with that. He's like, that's not what my mission is. Why are you, going behind my back? Like that sets up the theme of the movie so perfectly. Bucky like nails it home even harder. He wants to trust Bucky so desperately, but he absolutely cannot and should not, but he does anyway. And even though he does, that's why he succeeds. Like Steve knows who to trust, and that's like the constant with Steve throughout the whole series of the MCU. And so I think it's a perfect movie in my opinion. And the action's incredible. It's great.
Hell yeah, I love that. No rebuttal for me. That was beautifully said.
Yeah. All right. Well, you heard my number one. I already said it. It's Infinity War. I think that movie is the action, the spectacle, Thor, bring me Thanos' head going through the portal and showing up and destroying everybody is sick. That's like awesome, epic, action-packed Thor. Yeah. I think that them making the axe is incredible. Groot using his arm, the fact that it's Groot's like arm as the handle is sick. I think that everything with Doctor Strange and Iron Man in the park when they're fighting, everything with Peter Parker and Iron Man in space, all those, like, it's just such a good movie. Yeah. It is the perfect combination of spectacle and action and pacing. And I know it's not perfect, but to me, because of the spectacle, because of the theater experience, it's number one, and it beats out Winter Soldier, even if Winter Soldier is a better overall product in terms of quality. Yeah. But it's like 99% quality on Winter Soldier and then like 96 or 95 from Infinity War. Yeah. Plus the spectacle, it's enough for me to make it number one. So,
who's ready?
Jeremy, I'm so... Thunderbolts again.
My number one MCU movie. You guys ready for this?
The Hawkeye TV show.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Wow.
That movie is beautiful from beginning to end. I don't care what anyone has to say about the dance battle to end the world stuff. It is a ragtag band of misfits that no one cares about that James Gunn brought together to save the world. And it gave a perfect introduction to what we needed in space. You know, we never really got to see space before that, before it all started. Star-Lord, amazing casting with freaking, oh my god, there's so many Chris's. Chris Pratt, thank you. Chris Pratt, beautiful man. Gamora, Rocket and Groot, Vin Diesel as Groot, freaking Bradley Cooper as Rocket. Like, the casting is all star-studded and set. Freaking Yondu, dude, the whole movie from beginning to end, where they're just a ragtag gang trying to sell this damn orb to get some money, and then they find out that there's a bigger bad out there, and that's completely what sets us up with the signs of these Infinity Stones. To like, well, I know the Tesseract and all that, and then the Mind Stone and the Scepter, but you get what I'm saying. It's the first glimpse of what's really out there. And I will say that the love for music, the soundtrack is beautiful, amazing. I love it on the ship. I love the first quirk where it's like he gets back on the ship when he's escaping them, and the girl rolls down from the thing, and he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know you were still here. And it just cuts to this, boom, that's what he is. That's what Star-Lord is. He's just that guy. And moving forward into Ronan, I think Ronan's a cool villain. I don't think Ronan is the best villain, but I do think that he's just a mini dude who's trying to take over the world, destroy Thanos. Thanos thinks he's some puny dude, so what's he gonna do? Show Thanos he could really do it. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, the scene at the Collectors, and don't even get me started on freaking Drax. Like, dude, this movie just has so much after so much after so much. And to cut it, because I know where Matt's gonna fight me is on this rebuttal with the dance battle in the world where it was all quirky and goofy, cheesy, and dummy. But when they're all holding the stones, when they're all going, and he's like, "We're the Guardians of the Galaxy, bitch," and it just, boom! My heart exploded out of my damn chest. I was like, I'm gonna love these characters forever because this is what I wanted. I wasn't at an age where I was reading comics like that in depth. I had no idea who these guys were. My friend's uncle took us to see this on his birthday, like randomly the day it came out. So it's like, this movie has not only such a big impact on my heart, but I do not see a flaw. And yes, okay, writing, all that stuff. Like, now that we're talking into like the big theatrical terms of it, but as a story and as what it's become to build, beautiful cinema. I love that movie to a T.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that pick. I think that people that have Guardians #1, it's just, it resonates with them in a way that it just won't do it for me, but I understand it. Like, I can respect it. And I think there's a lot of people that actually have Guardians #1 just because there is a connection to those characters and the heart that James Gunn puts into them. Mm-hmm. Especially that ending, specifically exactly what you're talking about, where they're all holding hands. It is a really heartfelt, sweet, sentimental movie in that sense. I think that, again, my main gripe with that movie, I think that movie's actually pretty perfect. My main gripe is the whole ending battle sequence. Yeah. Like, it's just the big old sequence. And Ronan isn't that great of a villain, in my opinion.
He's not, no.
But like, I don't think he needs to be that incredible. And I think that the characters themselves are such well done. James Gunn just nails it. We got 2014. We got Winter Soldier and Guardians, and like, that was such a good it was such a good year. It might be
so good.
It might be one of the best years the MCU ever had, just because both those movies are so solid. I think that there's a lot of people that could argue that Guardians should be in the top 5, and if this was based off purely quality, I would probably put Guardians 1 in the top 5 as well.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta rewatch this movie, man. I gotta rewatch it. I haven't seen it. When did it came? 2014. It's been over 10 years since I've seen that movie. I gotta rewatch it.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
Genuinely so good.
Yeah. Also say, I mean, honestly, so this. I'm gonna go over them real quick. So, Isaac, your top 10. 10 Strange, Spider-Man Homecoming, Endgame, Captain America 1, Avengers 1, Iron Man 1, Guardians 3, Civil War, Infinity War, Winter Soldier. All solid picks. Jeremy, Guardians 3, Spider-Man No Way Home, Thor Ragnarok, Civil War, Thunderbolts, Endgame, Captain America Winter Soldier, Black Panther 1, Infinity War, Guardians 1. Not a bad list. The only one on there should be on there is Thunderbolts, and I haven't even seen it. I will. Mine: Thor Ragnarok, Guardians 1, Strange 1, No Way Home, Avengers 1, Endgame, Iron Man 1, Civil War, Winter Soldier, Infinity War. Me and Isaac have the same top three. Just move them in and out. But I wouldn't be mad if Winter Soldier was one either.
And
but all of us have.
I feel the same way about your list, Matt.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Thunderbolts. I need to watch it because I'm curious how hype it would be. I'm curious. It's funny that neither Isaac and I had Black Panther 1 in ours, but because it is good. Like that would be another top 10 quality movie for me too. But where's Eternals?
Dude, where's Ant-Man and the Wasp? Quantumania.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I like Ant-Man 1 and 2. I think those are both really fun movies.
Yeah.
Those would be in my top 20.
I think the Ant-Man Yellow Jacket fight is underrated. I think that fight is really good.
Yeah, the train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, it's super fun.
It's fun.
Super. That's that's what I'm talking about
comments.
with like the creativity aspect with like Doctor Strange or whatever. Like, you need that for like these moments to sell with the like creativity when you're like, oh, I never would have thought of that, and that's cool.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Well, hey, thank you, Isaac, for joining us on today's episode of the podcast. This is the longest podcast
honored.
we've ever filmed. We're at 2 hours and 9 minutes. Good God, my editing is going to be crazy tonight. But Isaac, where could the people find you, bro? If they think you're handsome, are you single? What's going on? With you? Tell me.
The people don't need to find me. I think it's okay. I'm not an influencer or anything along those lines. I'm not promoting my social media at this point. But you can support these guys on all their different platforms. And I genuinely want you to subscribe and watch every single episode because these are two of the funniest people I've ever met. I know there's going to be hilarious moments to come. I'm tuning in every single episode. I might not listen to this one because I'm in it. That's a little weird, but
I'll still listen to it.
Every other time I'm gonna be like ear to the ground, waiting for Jeremy to post.
Thursdays. Every Thursday. Matt, where can the people flow? Where can they find you, Matthew?
Where I'd want you to go is Matt's Foodie Eats on my TikTok. It's Matt's Matts Foodie FOODIE Eats EATS. TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. And yeah, I upload pretty much food stuff as much as I possibly can almost every single day. And I'm trying to grow that and make that what I do full time along with this podcast.
Go watch him eating the hot chicken tender.
Yes,
oh my gosh, that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I was dying. It was hilarious. It's like my favorite video you've ever posted. It needs to get more views.
Thank you.
It was beautiful, beautiful. Yes, please go check out Matt. He is
Jeremy, what about you?
Hey, man, 1 second. Please go check out Matt. He's a beautiful boy. He grinds his ass off to get to where he gets to, and I've never met a person more dedicated to get something off the ground. This podcast will not run without him and I together as equals. He is the GOAT. Please go support him. Where you can find me, I am just a normal dude. Chunky Tuesday on Twitch, chunkytues.co on Instagram. I stream whenever I can. I'm a busy boy, so really my time has been focused on the pouring into this podcast, watching it grow. But streams will be coming back soon. I review stuff on my TikTok sometimes, chunk.tv. But in all, the one place you can find me is here on the Permabanter podcast. Thank you guys for all coming out. Shout out the boys. Shout out the gang. And we'll see you next Thursday, baby. Yeah.
Adios.
Adios.